Chapter 841, Reversal Kill, shocked Di Huang. Although he didn't know Di Huang, he was at least Lin Mohan's teacher. Considered his elder, and also a senior of the human race. Di Huang has guarded the human race for hundreds of years. Although he hasn't made great achievements, he has made the abyss demons afraid to act too presumptuously. Later, Di Huang entered the deep space to find a way out for his own pursuits, which was understandable. He had already contributed so much to the human race, and Lin Moyu could completely understand wanting to fight for himself at the last moment. The reason he was able to leave with such peace of mind was also because he knew the growth rate of Lin Mohan. In less than 10 years, Lin Mohan would reach his former level and could completely replace him in guarding the human race. And these 10 years were crucial to him. But man proposes, God disposes. Unexpectedly Lin Mohan would be favored by Sword Orchid God and taken away directly. Lin Moyu could understand Di Huang's actions, so he also respected Di Huang. Level 95 soul power is much stronger than before. Under full urging, the speed of the wings of the undead was brought to its limit. When Lin Moyu was moving forward, a slender black light appeared behind him. The black light was thinner than a strand of hair. It was a crack where space was torn apart. The solidity of deep space can completely withstand transcendent level battles. But now there was a spatial crack, which was very strange. It was too small, and Lin Moyu was moving too fast, so he didn't notice it. At the fastest speed, he rushed to the location of Di Huang. As soon as Lin Moyu's figure appeared in the sky, he felt the fluctuation of the Law 397. A battle was unfolding 1,000 meters ahead. It shouldn't be said to be a battle, but rather a chase. Di Huang was running away, looking a little embarrassed. Behind him, 5 men in black were chasing him. The men in black looked somewhat similar to the human race, with wings on their backs. The overall appearance was extremely slender, especially the wings, which made the body look even thinner. Looking from a distance, it was like a bamboo pole with a pair of wings, which was very strange. Not monsters. Their clothes. The men in black were wearing clothes, so they shouldn't be monsters. Their clothing style was very familiar. Blood Clan. With just one glance, Lin Moyu determined the identity of the other party. They were the Blood Clan. Lin Moyu's mouth rose slightly. You're out of luck. The wings of the undead shook slightly and followed. Di Huang's speed was not as fast as the Blood Clan, but every time he was about to be caught up, Di Huang could move out thousands of meters in an instant, like teleporting. Lin Moyu saw that every time Di Huang teleported, an object in his hand would flash with light. It was a Bagua compass. Lin Moyu had seen it before. Di Huang had lent the Bagua compass to Lin Mohan before. According to Lin Mohan, this was Di Huang's most important equipment. Now it seems that this is indeed the case. Lin Moyu's speed far exceeded them. The wings of the undead shook, and instantly appeared not far from Di Huang. When Di Huang saw Lin Moyu, his face changed drastically. Leave quickly. Lin Moyu turned a deaf ear, as if he didn't hear, and didn't move. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't move, Di Huang launched the Bagua compass and instantly appeared in front of Lin Moyu. What are you doing here? He naturally recognized Lin Moyu, and at Lin Mohan's request, he had calculated Lin Moyu's safety many times. Lin Moyu smiled. I came to find you. I didn't expect there to be 5 bugs. Bugs. Di Huang reacted instantly, referring to the 5 blood clans. Compared to the Zerg beasts, the later abyss demons and dragons were a bit clumsy. But they could still be considered upright. At least they came face to face with spears and swords. The Blood Clan's methods, on the other hand, were sneaky. Their so-called chess pieces and methods of occupying the world were a bit despicable. Antares called the Blood Clan trash bugs, and Lin Moyu followed suit. But in Lin Moyu's eyes, these Blood Clans were indeed no different from bugs. When the 5 Blood Clans saw Lin Moyu, they smiled grimly, revealing a pair of fangs. Their voices carried a bloodthirsty taste. Another one here to die. The blood of the human race is still good. First suck their blood, then turn them into blood slaves and send them back to the human race. As long as there are more blood slaves, perhaps our plan can start again. The Blood Clan shouted loudly and rushed over quickly. Di Huang said anxiously, they're coming, you go first, I'll hold them back. Lin Moyu shook his head, no need. He pointed his finger lightly at the 5 Blood Clans. 4-star spell. Skeletal prison. The 5 Blood Clans were instantly trapped, and a layer of white bones appeared on their bodies. Then, the spell linkage was activated, and skeletal fangs and skeletal spears erupted at the same time. In an instant, white light illuminated the world. Accompanied by screams, the 5 blood clans fell from the sky at the same time, their bodies riddled with holes, their wings torn apart, and they were almost dismembered. But even if they weren't dismembered, they had completely lost their resistance. The power of the skeletal fangs and skeletal spears had reached level 98, and the 5 blood clans were also level 98. With just one blow, they lost their resistance. Lin Moyu pointed his finger again. Fusion spell, time curse. In the red curse light, the 5 screamed again, and when they fell to the ground, they were completely silent. With just 2 fingers, 5 level 98 blood clans, comparable to Zhang Yi, died directly. Lin Moyu smiled, solved. Di Huang was stunned at this time, too shocked to speak. The 5 blood clans who had been chasing him with no way to go to heaven and no way to enter the earth were so easily solved by Lin Moyu. He wasn't unaware of how strong the blood clan was. The two sides had fought each other, and more than once. It was clear that the other party was only level 98, and their strength was only a little weaker than his. With his strength, he could handle 3 level 98 blood clansmen at the same time. If there were more than 3, he would be overwhelmed. After several encounters, he had not gained any advantage. Being hunted this time, he had no choice but to escape. But because he had the 8 trigrams compass, he was not worried about not being able to escape. He didn't expect to run into Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't say anything when he saw him like this, just waited quietly. After a while, Di Huang came back to his senses. Thank you. Lin Moyu smiled. Senior, you are too polite, it's just a small effort. The corners of Di Huang's mouth twitched slightly. Lin Moyu said it so easily. Not only did he say it easily, but he also did it easily. He just used 2 fingers to solve it. Di Huang asked, Mo Yu, why did you come here? Although it was the first time they met, the two could not be considered complete strangers. Lin Moyu said, Antares asked me to come, saying you found what he wanted. Di Huang was even more surprised. He didn't expect Lin Moyu to directly call Antares by his name. This alone revealed a lot of information. Di Huang was an experienced man, and he had already guessed a lot. Di Huang narrowed his eyes slightly. I did find what the Lord wants, but with my ability, I can't get it back. It's okay, I'm here, please lead the way, senior. Seeing Lin Moyu's confident look, Di Huang couldn't help but sigh. The waves behind the Yangtze River pushed the waves forward, and he had to admit that he was getting old. Follow me, Di Huang said, turning around and flying forward. Di Huang didn't fly fast, and he kept calculating the direction with the 8 trigrams compass along the way, while explaining, because I encountered these alien races, my direction was deviated, give me some time. Lin Moyu smiled. Don't worry, senior, where did you encounter the blood clan? Di Huang then knew that these guys were called the blood clan. He asked curiously, have you seen them? I've seen them. Lin Moyu's voice was filled with killing intent. Chapter 842, The Magical 8 Trigrams Compass. Di Huang felt Lin Moyu's killing intent, and felt a chill all over his body. He felt that he was surrounded by a killing god, extremely terrifying. Lin Moyu slaughtered cities all the way in the Dragon Clan and in the Abyss. It can be said that he has killed countless lives. He didn't know how much killing intent he had accumulated. If it was purely based on quantity, even Yan Guangsheng was not as good as Lin Moyu. If it wasn't for the Domain God Stone absorbing all the killing intent, Lin Moyu would have been swept by the killing intent, and no one could approach him. Lin Moyu briefly told about what happened in the human world in recent years. Di Huang didn't expect that so many things had happened in the human race during the few years he had been away. The powerfully returning Dragon Clan was actually destroyed like this. Now the human race has attacked the Abyss world, and it seems that they are still occupying an advantage. So many high-level gods have emerged in the human race, giving people a feeling of prosperity. The most important thing is that a genius like Lin Moyu has appeared in the human race. His strength is unbelievably strong, unprecedented. Di Huang finally digested all the information. I didn't expect that I missed so many things when I left. Lin Moyu smiled. You have dedicated most of your life to the human race, you should think about yourself. Di Huang sighed. What is this? Think about the sages, they all dedicated their lives to the human race. Lin Moyu smiled. I think your approach is good. If you succeed, it will be of greater help to the human race. Everyone has their own ideas. Di Huang's choice is understandable. And the path he chose is not completely wrong. After cultivating Lin Mohan, he went to find a way out for himself. If he succeeds, he will be promoted to a super god, which will be of much greater help to the human race. Maybe, he can turn the tide and completely solve the Dragon Clan and the Abyss Demons. Di Huang's current strength is much stronger than when he first came to the deep space. It shows that he has made progress in the deep space and has obtained opportunities. If this continues, as long as he doesn't die, he really has a chance to be promoted to a super god. Di Huang fiddled with the 8 trigrams compass, changed the direction of advancement according to the guidance of the compass. The 8 trigrams compass can't calculate the final destination all at once, it also needs to be calculated in sections, calculating and adjusting. How is Xiaohan recently? Di Huang asked about Lin Mohan. Lin Moyu thought for a while, and decided to tell him, my sister was taken away by Sword Orchid God, and went to the Great World. Di Huang slammed on the brakes, stopped in place, and said blankly, Sword Orchid God. Lin Moyu nodded, yes, Sword Orchid God. You should know something about the Great World. Di Huang naturally knows something, but he doesn't know much, and he doesn't know what a god is. In his consciousness, above the super god is the true god, and he doesn't know what's above that. Super god, true god, god king, above the god king is the god. Sword Orchid God accepted my sister as a direct disciple and took her to the Great World. After the shock, Di Huang digested the news again. At this time, his mood was extremely complicated. In such a short time, he got more news than he had in the previous decades combined. What's wrong with this world? How has it become a bit unfamiliar? Lin Moyu didn't continue the previous topic, he had already conveyed enough information. If he continued, he was afraid that the old man Di Huang would not be able to accept it. Senior, your 8 trigrams compass is a bit peculiar, it doesn't seem to be a product of this world. The style of the 8 trigrams compass is not the same as the current Shengxia Empire's equipment. Lin Moyu felt that the 8 trigrams compass was either a relic of the previous era, or it came from the Great World. In the Huasha world of the previous life, there were indeed similar things. Di Huang was distracted by Lin Moyu. He looked at the 8 trigrams compass in his hand. This is when I just reached the god level, I entered the deep space and obtained it in a dangerous place. At that time, I was almost trapped to death in it. Fortunately I got it, and I was able to escape with it. The 8 trigrams compass was able to teleport Di Huang thousands of meters just now, obviously it has a role related to space. Lin Moyu said, it's indeed a good thing, in addition to being able to teleport thousands of meters, it can also calculate the direction. Di Huang nodded, its role is very big, teleporting thousands of meters is just one of the most basic functions, if I fully activate it, I can teleport more than 10,000 meters. And all kinds of Jedi dilemmas can't stop it. I also relied on it to avoid dangers again and again. Di Huang didn't say too much. Lin Moyu estimated that Di Huang relied on the 8 trigrams compass, and should have gained a lot of opportunities. He was able to survive in the deep space, and the 8 trigrams compass was indispensable. Maybe Di Huang wanted to bet on it one last time, and it was also because of the 8 trigrams compass. Lin Moyu smiled, then you have to keep this treasure safe. Di Huang said, it has another role, I left a soul mark in the Creation God Academy, if I encounter misfortune in the deep space, it can break through the space and return to the Creation God Academy. This treasure must be left in the human race, and cannot be lost from my hands. Di Huang has dedicated most of his life to the human race, and everything is for the sake of the human race. Even if he has a little selfishness, and wants to go further, he doesn't forget to leave a backhand. AAA0 ask for fresh flowers AAA0. How can you blame such an old man? Lin Moyu's eyes were filled with respect. Senior, have you ever thought about leaving this world? You mean going to the Great World to see, right? Di Huang smiled, actually, I have already found the way to the Great World. Di Huang said, raising the 8 trigrams compass in his hand. Lin Moyu thought about it, with the 8 trigrams compass, he can completely calculate the way to the Great World. As for why Di Huang didn't go, there must be his reasons. Lin Mo didn't ask, he knew that Emperor Di would definitely tell him himself. Emperor Di smiled and continued, you must be guessing why I didn't go. Actually, I went to see, but it was too dangerous, so I retreated. This is another function of the Bagua compass, predicting good and bad. Emperor D's answer surprised Lin Mo. This Bagua compass has too many functions. 0. Teleportation, finding direction, and predicting good and bad. Such an instrument is indeed a bit magical. One can imagine that the grade of the Bagua compass should not be low, but why would such a good thing be in the deep space? It's a bit puzzling. Actually, the place where I found the Dragon Ball was near the passage. It was also there that I encountered the Blood Clan. The two continued their journey, constantly changing direction. In the deep space, there is no direction. Lin Mo had already constructed a considerable map in his mind when he came last time. But he still couldn't find the edge of the deep space. The scale of the deep space is much larger than he imagined. It seems to be larger than the human world. It belongs to the ancient battlefield, and is relatively independent. It has complete laws, and can withstand the power of the transcendent god level like the human world. Lin Mo couldn't explain the existence of the deep space, it was very special anyway. After flying for half a day, they had already surpassed the scope of Lin Mo's last search. The elements here are very rich, and even the breath of the law can be clearly felt. Similarly, the danger of acting here has also greatly increased. Emperor D constantly adjusted the direction, seemingly without purpose. But Lin Mo could see that their overall direction of advance had not changed. Emperor D was just avoiding the various dangerous monsters along the way. These monsters have basically reached the transcendent god level, and are super monsters bred in the deep space. If Emperor D encountered them, he would have a narrow escape from death. But relying on the Bagua compass, he completely avoided these dangers. It has to be said that the Bagua compass is extremely magical. Chapter 843. It's okay, I'm not afraid of crowds. The two flew for a whole day before finally arriving at their destination. Here is the edge of the deep space, with a layer of colorful barrier covering the deep space. Outside the barrier is a bright starry sky, with large swaths of starlight falling in, illuminating the earth. The starlight here is completely different from the starlight seen at ordinary times. There seems to be more things in the starlight here, things that cannot be explained. Lin Mo had seen similar starlight before, and more than once. When Sword Orchid God Venerable opened the space-time channel, and when the demons descended and opened the cross-border teleportation array, similar starlight fell in. This is starlight from the great world. Emperor D said in a deep voice, you also feel it, the front is the barrier between the deep space and the great world. These starlights are very special, containing power from the great world. What a fascinating power. It seems that Emperor D has seen starlight from the great world more than once. 663, his eyes were filled with desire, a desire for power. Lin Mo could completely understand him, who doesn't want to improve their strength, pursue higher realms, and stronger power. The people in the small world are like this, and so are the creatures of all races in the great world. Only when one's own strength is strong enough can one survive in this cruel world. Emperor D pointed to a special position in the screen, do you see it? Lin Mo's gaze penetrated the world barrier, and he saw a channel composed of starlight behind the barrier. Walking through this channel, you can truly enter the great world. I have calculated that to safely pass through this channel, you need at least the transcendent god level, and even ordinary transcendent gods will be very dangerous. If I go in now, I will definitely die. Emperor D held the Bagua compass, and his voice trembled a little when he said this. He was eager to go in, but also afraid to go in. His emotions were very complicated, and only he could understand them. Emperor D looked at the channel, and then at Lin Mo. In the future, you can go out from here. Lin Mo remembered the location, and in the near future, he would definitely come here for a trip. Lin Mo took out Antares' Dragon Ball, which was glowing slightly. It can not only allow Lin Mo to return, but also sense the location of other Dragon Balls within a certain range. Seeing the Dragon Ball in Lin Mo's hand, Emperor D couldn't help but be shocked again. Antares' willingness to give the Dragon Ball to Lin Mo is enough to prove Lin Mo's status in its mind. Being able to get Antares' approval, Lin Mo's ability obviously far exceeded his imagination. Emperor D was not jealous, he would only be happy that such a character could be born in the human race. Through the Dragon Ball, Lin Mo quickly located the other Dragon Balls. Not just one, but 2 Dragon Balls. Just a few kilometers ahead. Emperor D pointed to the ground in front. This piece of land is actually a swamp. It usually looks exactly like the land, but as long as people go up, it will instantly turn into a swamp and swallow people in. Inside the swamp, there lives a swamp giant lizard, and the dragon ball of the adults is inside the giant lizard's body. Lin Mo frowned slightly. Senior means that the giant lizard swallowed the dragon ball. Emperor D nodded. It should be. The dragon scales that the adult gave me, and the Bagua compass, all point to that giant lizard. If that's the case, then kill it. Lin Mo said in a deep voice. Even if that giant lizard is at the 5th rank of the transcendent god, Lin Mo has a way to kill it. The dragon ball must be obtained. As for safety, Lin Mo is not worried. Emperor D then pointed to the other side. About 100 kilometers away from here, the Blood Clan people are stationed there. How many people are there? About 1,000 people. Then what is the strength of this swamp giant lizard? Is it at the transcendent god level? Emperor D shook his head, indicating that he was not very clear. After I calculated the location of the Dragon Ball at that time, I happened to see the Blood Clan people besieging the giant lizard. There are transcendent gods among the Blood Clan people, and they are numerous and powerful. The giant lizard killed several Blood Clan people, and also suffered a bit, and fled into the swamp. After Emperor D said this, Lin Mo had a bottom line in his heart. Since it is not an opponent of the Blood Clan people, it means that the strength of the swamp giant lizard should not be stronger than the Blood Clan people. In that way, as long as you know the strength of the Blood Clan people, you can know the strength of the swamp giant lizard. Lin Mo thought of a method. It seems that some preparations need to be made. Emperor D's eyes turned, and he whispered, do you want to lure the Blood Clan people over and let them fight the swamp giant lizard first? I can use the Bagua compass to create a projection, maybe it will work. Lin Mo shook his head. There is no need for such trouble. Let's kill the Blood Clan people first, and then use the Blood Clan people to deal with the swamp giant lizard. Emperor D hesitated a little, but there are more than 1,000 Blood Clan people. The weakest of them are at level 98, with the strength of a half-step transcendent god. Several leaders have already reached the transcendent god level. Lin Mo didn't care. It's okay, I'm not afraid of crowds. But, let's go. Lin Mo Yu didn't give Di Huang time to think, and flew directly towards the Blood Clan's base. Di Huang thought of Lin Mo Yu's profession, and had some understanding of it back then. Knowing that Lin Mo Yu could summon some skeletons, but the skeletons didn't seem very powerful. To deal with Blood Clan members who were at least half-step transcendent, quantity didn't mean much. But seeing Lin Mo Yu's confident look, he chose to believe Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu flew slowly, not in a hurry. The Blood Clan's plan in the human world failed. Logically speaking, they should retreat. Why aren't they leaving? Di Huang thought for a moment. It should be because their strength isn't enough. Half-step transcendent can't pass through that passage. Lin Mo Yu shook his head. Since there are transcendent level beings among them, then the transcendent level ones can always pass through, right? As long as they can pass through, and then set up a cross-border teleportation array from the Great World to bring the rest of the people out, it's not difficult for them. What Lin Mo Yu said was indeed possible. Di Huang felt that what Lin Mo Yu said made some sense, but he couldn't understand why the Blood Clan hadn't left. Lin Mo Yu pondered for a few seconds, then suddenly asked, have you been to the passage? I haven't been there. I calculated at the time that I would definitely die, so I didn't go. Di Huang hadn't been there, indicating that even he didn't know what the situation was at the entrance of the passage. He had just looked at the entrance of the passage and vaguely felt that something was wrong. Lin Mo Yu made a bold guess. I suspect that at the entrance of the passage, there should be powerful monsters guarding it. The Blood Clan must have tried it, and they were even attacked by the swamp basilisk. So they retreated and chose to kill the swamp basilisk first. 1.4. Listening to Lin Mo Yu's methodical analysis, Di Huang felt it made a lot of sense. Lin Mo Yu said softly, whether this is the case or not, we'll know when we take a look later. The distance of 100 kilometers was very close, and they arrived in a short time. From 10,000 meters away, Lin Mo Yu could already see the Blood Clan members. Blood Clan members were easy to identify. They had wings, their bodies were as thin as bamboo poles, and their faces were pale and bloodless all year round. The Blood Clan members were gathered together, seemingly resting. They didn't have anyone on guard on the periphery. The Blood Clan members had no sense of vigilance at all. Perhaps the nearby creatures had been cleared by them, so they were all very relieved. Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly. No vigilance at all, an unqualified race. With a thought, the sky suddenly darkened. The undead world descended, and a giant eye spanning 100,000 meters appeared in the air. Stellar level spell. Undead gaze. Chapter 844. One-sided massacre. The giant eye burned with raging flames. The aura of death descended, and the undead laws spread in the eye of the undead. The flames in the eye of the undead represented the death aspect of the undead laws. The soul attack carried the undead laws, and undead gaze was an extremely terrifying spell. Lin Moyu discovered something when he summoned the eye of the undead. The power of the eye of the undead had greatly increased, many times more than before. The power of undead gaze was determined by the soul, and Lin Moyu's soul had reached level 97. Even without any buffs, undead gaze was enough to cause devastating damage to a level 97 being. Moreover, there was the 100-fold amplification of his talent. Undead gaze was enough to instantly kill a level 98 half-step transcendent, and even cause damage to a transcendent level being. The Blood Clan members were stunned. Spells of this scale were rare. What is that? How can there be such a big eye? Could it be the descent of a true god? Get lost, even a true god can't have such a big eye. The Blood Clan members didn't know what was happening, staring blankly at the eye in the sky. Not only were the Blood Clan members stunned, but Di Huang was also given a big fright. In the next instant, the eye of the undead, carrying undead flames, looked towards the Blood Clan members. In an instant, a large number of Blood Clan members stood frozen in place, losing their movement. Their souls were annihilated silently, dying beyond death. Screams rang out, and the transcendent level experts among the Blood Clan suffered severe injuries, holding their heads and wailing in pain. The eye of the undead swept across the Blood Clan's ranks, and only 5 transcendent level experts were left alive out of the 1,000 Blood Clan members. They held their heads and wailed in pain, screaming incessantly. Besides pain, there was more fear. They still didn't know where the enemy was. The attack came so suddenly, and it was so powerful. It killed nearly 1,000 half-step transcendent Blood Clan members in one go. Such a spell, such strength, a transcendent level being couldn't possibly do it. At least in their concept, a transcendent level being couldn't have such power. It must be at least a true god level. With a tremor of his undead wings, Lin Moyu appeared in the sky above the Blood Clan's base. It's you, humble human. Seeing Lin Moyu, the few transcendent level experts among the Blood Clan finally came to their senses, knowing that all this was Lin Moyu's doing. They endured the severe pain, spread their wings, and pounced towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't give them a chance to attack, pointing remotely. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. Under the red light, the Blood Clan experts who had just pounced over screamed again, trembling all over and falling down. Then several corpses exploded silently. Planetary level spell, Corpse Explosion. Lin Moyu detonated 10 corpses in an instant. Each corpse was a half-step transcendent level being. After amplification, the power generated was difficult for even a transcendent level expert to withstand. The 5 remaining transcendent level Blood Clan experts, amidst the torment of their souls, suddenly exploded. The 5 transcendent level Blood Clan experts fell to the ground at the same time. Consciousness disappeared, and everything in the world was completely gone. Di Huang watched this scene from afar, completely falling into a state of dementia. Lin Moyu's strength completely exceeded his imagination. How can he be so strong? How can he be so strong? He kept repeating this sentence, and the disbelief on his face was visible to everyone. Lin Moyu did it too easily, it was simply crushing. No, it was a one-sided massacre. The Blood Clan had no resistance, they didn't even resist. Di Huang shivered. He suddenly felt that when Lin Moyu was in the Dragon Clan, was he also doing this? Lin Moyu told him that he had slaughtered 1,000,000 dragons and forced the Dragon Emperor away. He thought that Lin Moyu had gone through some kind of arduous battle to achieve such a result. Now it seemed that it wasn't the case at all. At this time, Lin Moyu flicked out several balls of flame. The flames exploded in the air and landed on the Blood Clan members. Stellar level spell, Undead Rebirth. The Bloodkin resurrected in the flames, their souls reforming. They are re-alive again. Di Huang felt like he was going crazy. What had he witnessed today? Was it a myth? Even myths and legends weren't this absurd. Lin Moyu didn't revive all the Bloodkin, only those at the demigod level. He kept the bodies of the remaining 5 true god level Bloodkin, as they would be useful. When Lin Moyu returned, Di Huang was still in a daze, not fully recovered. Senior. Senior. After calling out 3 times, Di Huang finally reacted. Besides being shocked, Di Huang was also somewhat panicked. How are these Bloodkin alive again? Lin Moyu explained. This is one of my spells, it can temporarily revive the dead, turning them into revenants. They can exist for 10 days, oh no, 20 days, during these 20 days, they will obey my commands, Revenants originally existed for only 10 days, but now with Lin Mo Yu's level increasing and his soul becoming stronger, their existence time also increased. Becoming a revenant conflicted with corpse explosion, so once they became revenants, corpse explosion could no longer be used. Therefore, Lin Mo Yu kept the 5 true god level corpses to deal with the swamp basilisk. Senior, Ida's time to kill the swamp basilisk, Lin Mo Yu said casually. Di Huang responded, you plan to use these bloodkin to kill the swamp basilisk, more or less. The strongest of the bloodkin is at most true god rank 3, I estimate the basilisk, no matter how strong, won't exceed true god rank 4, Lin Mo Yu judged the approximate strength of the swamp basilisk based on the bloodkin's strength. There might be some deviation, but not by much. If the swamp basilisk was too strong, there would be no need to fear the bloodkin's siege. Di Huang wasn't that he didn't believe Lin Mo Yu, but he still had some questions. The swamp basilisk is thick-skinned and tough, if it can't win it will flee, once it escapes into the swamp, it won't be easy to deal with, Lin Mo Yu smiled, don't worry, it can't escape. Lin Mo Yu had already ordered the bloodkin to set off, while he and Di Huang followed behind. Lin Mo Yu was so understated, Di Huang had a feeling that what he said was true. The swamp basilisk was probably doomed. The bloodkin rushed to the top of the swamp, and started attacking the swamp. The attacks of the demigod level were not weak, and laws-like sharp arrows were nailed into the swamp land. The seemingly ordinary ground suddenly turned into a swamp after being attacked. Mud and stones rolled, and the swamp was blasted out with large holes. Accompanied by angry roars, a giant lizard with a black and gray body and a size of over 200 meters rushed out of the swamp. The swamp basilisk exuded a strong pressure, and its terrifying aura formed a black cloud that filled the air. Di Huang had been completely shocked, the huge difference in strength made him tremble uncontrollably. His soul level was not high enough, and his soul quality was not good enough, so he couldn't resist the true god level pressure. True god level powerhouses could crush him with their soul pressure alone. The swamp basilisk flew in the air, frantically attacking the bloodkin, knocking away a large number of them. The bloodkin, who had become revenants, felt no pain, were fearless, and their combat power was even stronger than before. Lin Mo Yu ignored the pressure and even joked, they all have wings, they look a bit like dragon wings, it seems that 2 dragon balls mutated it, Dragon balls were the most important thing in the dragon race, containing huge amounts of energy. At Antares' realm, the strength of the dragon balls was unimaginable. This swamp basilisk swallowed 2 dragon balls and didn't explode and die, which was considered lucky. It even triggered a mutation. Lin Mo Yu felt that it shouldn't have been so strong before swallowing the dragon balls. He gently raised his hand, and in an instant, a red light enveloped the world. Chapter 845, The Most Dangerous Creature in the Deep Space. Time Curse. The ever-victorious spell, also the most soul-damaging spell. Especially after forming a 3-star spell, the 3 curses worked together, coupled with the law of time, instantly bursting out a lot of damage. The power was extremely amazing. Even true god rank 8 or 9 would be injured. Not to mention the swamp basilisk in front of him. Lin Mo Yu guessed correctly, its original strength was not that strong. Originally, it was only true god rank 3. It was the mutation caused by swallowing the dragon balls that allowed it to evolve to true god rank 5. In fact, its soul was still only true god rank 3. Under the curse, the swamp basilisk let out a deafening scream. It was filled with horror, and instinctively wanted to escape. Not good, it's going to escape. Di Huang shouted. It can't escape. How could Lin Mo Yu give it a chance? With a thought, the 5 true god-level bloodkin corpses that had been deliberately left behind were detonated. There was no earth-shattering roar, but explosions occurred simultaneously throughout the swamp basilisk's body. The power of the explosion was so great that it even disturbed the space, forming spatial waves that twisted and layered outward. The swamp basilisk died on the spot with a wail. It couldn't withstand the explosion of 5 corpses of about the same level as it. The almost blasted body fell from the sky, and a large number of bloodkin revenants below were ready and took the fallen corpse away from the swamp. Everything was completed easily and simply as Lin Mo Yu had planned. The bloodkin revenants dismembered the swamp basilisk, and the air became thick with the smell of blood. Lin Moyu had long been accustomed to it, such a little blood was nothing. Di Huang's expression changed slightly. Not good, the smell of blood is too strong, it will attract the bloodthirsty bees. Lin Moyu was slightly stunned. What are bloodthirsty bees? Di Huang said anxiously. They are a type of insect that lives in the deep space. Are they very scary? Bloodthirsty bees, come for blood, they are very scary, and can be said to be the most terrifying creatures in the deep space. Lin Moyu became interested. Senior, please explain in detail. Di Huang immediately explained in the fastest language. The bloodthirsty bees look like bees in the human race world, about the size of a fist. The sharp thorns on their mouths carry the power of laws and can penetrate the most solid armor. Even legendary equipment can't stop their thorns. At the level of the bloodthirsty bees, the high ones can reach true god rank 3, and the low ones are only level 96. Even at level 96, they can still pierce the defense of true god rank 5. Lin Moyu thought for a moment. It should be carrying a law-like penetration, but with their size, even if they pierce through, it won't be anything, at most they will be slightly injured. Di Huang immediately denied Lin Moyu's statement. This is only one of them, they also carry a highly toxic poison, which can paralyze opponents, even true god rank 5 can hardly avoid it. I once personally saw a monster of true god rank 5 being killed alive by bloodthirsty bees. Paralysis. Is it a paralysis-type law or a poison with a paralyzing function? Lin Moyu asked. Di Huang said he didn't know. His face was filled with fear. The most terrifying thing about bloodthirsty bees is not these, but the quantity. They are gregarious creatures, and in the deep space, there are no more than 10 groups. Each group has reached 100,000, once they come, they will cover the sky and the sun, and wherever they pass, no grass will grow. The deep space is very large, and it is usually difficult to encounter bloodthirsty bees, but bloodthirsty bees are particularly sensitive to the smell of blood. They can smell the smell of blood thousands of kilometers away and then track it down. Emperor Di described the bloodthirsty bees as terrifying because he had seen them and knew how powerful they were. But Lin Moyu didn't care, especially when he heard that each swarm numbered up to 100,000. It's been a long time since I've leveled up by fighting monsters. 100,000 at least level 96 creatures should be enough to let me level up once. The talent giant tree was constantly providing soul power. Lin Moyu's own leveling speed wasn't slow. At his current rate, he could reach level 96 in at most 2 months. But this didn't prevent him from leveling up by fighting monsters. In his opinion, 100,000 bloodthirsty bees were nothing, the quantity was not unexpected. Just like the previous windflower swarm, lightning tree swarm. Comparing numbers, can they compare to his undead army? Moreover, his undead army was immune to all abnormal states, and the effect of paralysis, whether by law or poison, was difficult to produce. Lin Moyu didn't panic at all. It's okay, I'm not afraid of them. Emperor Di was really anxious, he really wanted to leave. Although Lin Moyu was very strong, he didn't think Lin Moyu could beat the bloodthirsty bees. But now Lin Moyu obviously didn't want to leave, and he couldn't seem to persuade Lin Moyu. A newborn calf is not afraid of tigers, in his opinion, that's what Lin Moyu was like. At this time, a blood race revenant came over, holding a dragon ball in his hand. Lin Moyu took the dragon ball and looked at it in front of his eyes. The dragon ball was crystal clear and did not have a trace of blood on it. Comparing it with the dragon ball in his hand, he couldn't see any difference. Maybe it was because this was something of the dragon race, and he couldn't understand it. Or maybe it was because his strength was too weak, and the level of the dragon ball was too high. Anyway, as far as he knew, giant dragons didn't have dragon balls. Only holy dragons and divine dragons would have dragon balls in their bodies. Before long, the second dragon ball was also brought over, still with no difference. Emperor Di urged anxiously, let's go first, if we don't leave, we really won't be able to leave. At this moment, the 8 trigrams compass in his hand suddenly began to spin wildly. Emperor Di's face changed greatly, this was a danger warning. The faster the compass spun, the more dangerous it was. He had escaped many disasters with the help of the compass's warning. The deep space was too dangerous, and with his strength, he had to be careful to survive. Lin Moyu smiled. It's okay, if you're not at ease, you can leave first. Emperor Di was stunned. How could he leave? Although he cherished his life and wanted to live, he couldn't abandon Lin Moyu and escape for his own life. The 8 trigrams compass reached its limit, and then began to vibrate violently. This also represented that the danger had reached its extreme. This lasted for 2 seconds, and the 8 trigrams compass stopped abruptly, changing from extreme motion to extreme stillness in an instant. This meant that the danger had arrived, and it was too late to escape. Now he could only face it, unable to escape. Emperor Di took a deep breath. Okay, today this old man, will risk my life with you. If we die together. Lin Moyu looked into the distance, where a cloud of darkness was approaching at an alarming speed. Both of them could already hear buzzing sounds, which were the sounds of the bloodthirsty bees vibrating their wings. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes, seeing clearly the appearance of the bloodthirsty bees. Bodies the size of fists, nearly transparent wings, and a long, sharp stinger. They looked very much like bees, the difference being that their stingers were on their mouths, not their tails. This would make them even more aggressive. 2 wings, 4 wings, 6 wings. The bloodthirsty bees didn't differ much in size, but there were differences in the number of wings. Different numbers of wings also represented different realms. 2 wings were level 96, the lowest level among the bloodthirsty bees. 4 wings were half-step transcendent, and 6 wings were true transcendent level. Then, each additional pair of wings increased the level by 1. Lin Moyu saw several 12-winged bloodthirsty bees, transcendent level 3, in the swarm. Facing the increasingly close bloodthirsty bees, flames suddenly burned in the sky, and the undead eye, 10,000 meters in size, suddenly opened. Chapter 846 Soul Manifestation, True God Level. All he could hear was buzzing, no other sounds. The sky was pulled open like a curtain, the undead giant eye opened, and the undead flames burned fiercely. Undead gaze was activated, looking towards the bloodthirsty bees. Under the gaze of the undead eye, the bloodthirsty bees clearly showed some panic, and some confusion appeared. But they quickly returned to normal, and not a single bloodthirsty bee died. Lin Moyu gave a light exclamation, very surprised. The undead gaze would actually return without success. His vision immediately connected to the undead eye, and then he saw a huge bloodthirsty bee soul. From this soul, Lin Moyu felt a strong soul power, and an astonishing bloodthirsty killing intent. All the bloodthirsty bees' souls are connected as one. This soul, I'm afraid it has reached the limit of the transcendent level. Perhaps a single soul was weak, but when combined, it was incredibly powerful. Undead gaze could cause some damage, but the damage wasn't great. The bloodthirsty bees hardly reacted. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and all the blood race revenants rushed into the sky to meet the bloodthirsty bees. Lin Moyu also raised his hand and pointed. Fusion spell, time curse. Buzz. An incomparably sharp soul sound resounded through the heavens and the earth. The space within 1,000 miles was shaken and trembled. Lin Moyu couldn't help but frown. This soul sound was a painful cry from the bloodthirsty bees after being hurt. Emperor Di groaned. His soul quality was not as good as Lin Moyu's, and in this soul sound, his soul was shaken, which was extremely uncomfortable. The time curse did hurt the bloodthirsty bees, but only a little. It didn't even kill a single bloodthirsty bee. On the contrary, Lin Moyu's attack aroused the ferocity of the bloodthirsty bees. They fought with the blood race revenants, and almost instantly tore the blood race revenants apart. Seeing that Lin Moyu's 2 attacks were ineffective, Emperor Di's expression changed greatly, his eyes filled with panic. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. It's okay. The sky suddenly darkened, and undead flames burned fiercely in the sky. Emperor Di's eyes blurred, and he could no longer see a single bloodthirsty bee. What replaced them were countless skeletons. The undead army was dispatched collectively, without reservation. The entire 1.49 million undead army occupied every corner of the sky and the ground. The bloodthirsty bee swarm was only 100,000, and at this time, the undead army outnumbered them by more than 10 times. And as Lin Moyu's level increased, the individual strength of the undead army was only stronger than the bloodthirsty bees. Perhaps the high-end combat power isn't as good, but the main force is not bad at all. Di Huang widened his eyes again, opened his mouth, and couldn't believe it. The number of undead legions far exceeded his imagination. Lin Moyu smiled. When it comes to numbers, I've never been afraid. Indeed, when it comes to numbers, Lin Moyu has never been afraid. As soon as the undead legion appeared, they fought with the bloodthirsty bees. The bloodthirsty bees' attacks were indeed powerful, easily piercing the skeleton's bones. But they couldn't cause fatal damage to the skeletons. Under the collective healing of the Lich generals, the undead legion quickly recovered, as if they hadn't been injured. As long as they couldn't inflict fatal damage on the undead legion, the attacks were useless. However, the undead legion gave the bloodthirsty bees a fatal blow. The bone dragon's dragon breath sprayed down, and the bloodthirsty bees died in patches. Almost in the blink of an eye, tens of thousands were killed or injured. The elemental liches brought auras to the undead legion, flames constantly rising from the bloodthirsty bees, and dense lightning struck from above, further accelerating the demise of the bloodthirsty bee swarm. Since the undead legion appeared, the outcome of the battle was already decided. Di Huang was speechless. He knew that Lin Moyu could summon skeletons, but he never imagined he could summon so many. With this scale, it's no wonder he wasn't afraid of the bloodthirsty bees. Lin Moyu wasn't arrogant, but truly confident. He was confident in crushing the bloodthirsty bees. This kind of undead legion could sweep through the deep space without any problems. Soon, more than half of the bloodthirsty bees were killed or injured. Di Huang's tension was also swept away. But for some reason, the 8 trigrams compass suddenly began to spin rapidly again, vibrating non-stop. Di Huang said in panic, "What's going on?" Lin Moyu also vaguely felt the danger, and instinctively stepped in front of Di Huang. At this moment, a huge bloodthirsty bee appeared in the air. This wasn't its true form, but the soul of the bloodthirsty bee. All the dead bloodthirsty bees, their souls didn't dissipate, but gathered together. The soul reached the point of being visible to the naked eye. Soul materialization. Soul materialization is something only true gods can do. Even Lin Moyu now couldn't do it. The soul is the soul, a illusory existence. It truly exists, but cannot affect the current world. Only when the soul is strong enough can it materialize and truly affect the real world. Antares once told Lin Moyu that the boundary between a true god and a super god is whether the soul can materialize. Di Huang obviously didn't know what soul materialization was, but he knew that the huge bloodthirsty bee in front of him was very dangerous. The undead legion's attacks had no effect on it. Lin Moyu suddenly realized something was wrong. Although the bloodthirsty bee's soul had materialized, its laws hadn't. Without the corresponding laws, only the appearance of soul materialization, without the corresponding power. Moreover, this soul was formed by the gathering of the souls of 10,000 bloodthirsty bees, not a true whole, and there would inevitably be flaws. The bloodthirsty bee knocked away the skeletons blocking it, directly pierced the bone dragon's body, penetrated the undying flames, and charged towards Lin Moyu. It knew that the mastermind behind everything was Lin Moyu. Fusion art. Curse of time. As the red light fell, the bloodthirsty bee let out a soul scream. The scream was more intense than before, it was clearly in pain, but not injured. Although it didn't have laws, its soul level truly reached the true god level. It rushed to Lin Moyu at an alarming speed, with amazing penetrating power. The huge stinger was about to pierce Lin Moyu's body. "Retreat!" Di Huang shouted. At this moment he wanted to go up and block this attack for Lin Moyu. At this moment, he had no fear, he just wanted to save Lin Moyu. "Go back!" Lin Moyu reacted faster than him, reaching out and pulling him behind himself. Bang! The stinger landed on Lin Moyu's body. Pure white light flickered non-stop, the bone armor shattered in response, but reappeared again in an instant, and shattered again. In this instant, the bone armor appeared and shattered repeatedly more than 10 times. The bloodthirsty bee was also constantly attacked by bone fangs and spears. But attacks of this level couldn't hurt it. Similarly, the bloodthirsty bee couldn't hurt Lin Moyu. It barely reached the first level of true god, and it wasn't a true first level true god. Strictly speaking, it could only be considered a half-step true god. The undead legion easily withstood all the damage. The Lich generals healed in time, recovering almost instantly. The bloodthirsty bee's attack, in addition to physical and law attacks, also carried soul attacks. Outside Lin Moyu's soul world, a huge bloodthirsty bee appeared. Its attack landed on the glass barrier outside the soul world, and couldn't break through at all. Lin Moyu had a third-grade soul, and a third-grade soul not only improved the quality of the soul, but also formed a barrier in the soul world to resist external attacks. Lin Moyu was unharmed, and even had the mind to analyze, half of it as physical attacks with laws, and half as soul attacks. This level of attack is ineffective against me. The problem now is how to kill this materialized soul of the bloodthirsty bee. It can't hurt me, but it seems I can't do anything about it either. Lin Moyu's thoughts raced, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, and he had an idea. Chapter 847, Died and Became a Slave. The bloodthirsty bee's stinger was constantly vibrating, and each vibration formed an impact on Lin Moyu, equivalent to an attack. The attack frequency was very high, with dozens of attacks per second. With the high-frequency attacks, the bone armor constantly shattered and reformed. Art linkage was continuously activated, and the bone fangs and spears illuminated the surroundings like daylight. 4-star arts couldn't hurt the bloodthirsty bee, the gap between the two sides was too big. Similarly, the bloodthirsty bee couldn't hurt Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's defense was too perverted. A clean white hand reached out, grabbing the bloodthirsty bee's long stinger. The stinger was covered with many serrations, flashing with a sharp cold light. The hand and the serrations formed a stark contrast, looking extremely uncoordinated. Souls can't be grabbed, but souls that have materialized have formed a physical body and can be grabbed. A gray and white gas appeared on Lin Moyu's palm, and the undying law, like mist, instantly enveloped the bloodthirsty bee. He couldn't integrate the law into the art, but that didn't prevent Lin Moyu from using the law alone. The undying law has both the characteristics of life and death, and is more intense and powerful than the one-sided life and death in the art. Whether it's life or death, it's all controlled by Lin Moyu. At this moment, the undying law was expressing the aspect of death, an intense and ultimate demise. Since you are already dead, your souls should no longer remain in this world. Lin Moyu's voice was like the final judgment of the Grim Reaper. The bloodthirsty bee immediately let out a miserable scream, its massive form trembling violently. It was a manifestation of souls, reaching the level of a true god. However, its essence was composed of the souls of 100,000 bloodthirsty bees. Seemingly a single entity, it could still be divided. Most of the bloodthirsty bees had already died, only their souls remained. Now, the undying law brought true death, true decay. Under the shroud of the undying law, a large number of bloodthirsty bee souls that had lost their physical bodies began to wither and rot, truly entering death. The manifested souls collapsed in trembling, becoming transparent, their power weakening. If it were a single entity, Lin Moyu's undying law would not have worked. But it was not, and the individual units were so weak. The skeleton marksman continuously attacked the souls of the bloodthirsty bees, becoming Lin Moyu's assistant, accelerating the collapse of the bloodthirsty bees. The bone dragon's dragon breath, carrying the undying flame, continuously burned. The undying flame in the dragon breath also possessed the death aspect of the undying law. It merged with the law cast by Lin Moyu, its power becoming even greater. Although not as direct as having a spell bear the law, it was a different kind of enhancement. The souls of the bloodthirsty bees completely shattered, the manifestation disappearing. A red light suddenly lit up, fusion spell, curse of time. The eye of the undead also gazed over again at this moment. Lin Moyu multitasked, making waste of the swamp basilisk that had just been dismembered, completing a corpse explosion. With a series of attacks, the scene instantly quieted down. The sound of the bloodthirsty bees' wings disappeared, no longer the annoying buzzing, only the sound of undead bones rubbing against each other. The next second, the undead legion collectively disappeared, the world completely silent. Done. Lin Moyu clapped his hands, as if he had done something insignificant. Compared to his smaller battles, and the confrontation with the Dragon Emperor. This battle really wasn't anything. Even from beginning to end, Lin Moyu had not moved half a step. Diwanga's eyes were incredibly complex. He initially thought he was doomed, and even prepared to die heroically, instinctively wanting to take the fatal blow for Lin Moyu. But in the blink of an eye, it was all over. The bloodthirsty bee swarm, which was feared in the deep space, was so easily killed. The giant bloodthirsty bee that appeared last was clearly very powerful, but in the end, it was still killed by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's power had completely exceeded Diwanga's expectations. Di Huang saw Lin Moyu emitting light, a pillar of light soaring into the sky. His eyes became even more complex, even somewhat envious. Using bloodthirsty bees to level up, Lin Moyu was probably the only one in the world. After destroying the bloodthirsty bee swarm, Lin Moyu successfully advanced from level 95 to level 96. His soul power increased again, and his soul level also improved slightly. The gap between his level and soul level used to be huge, but now the gap was getting closer and closer, only one level apart. The increase in level could also improve combat power, although the increase was not too much, but that was not the most important thing. Most importantly, if he wanted to become the master of the world, he had to raise his level to 99, and then break through to the transcendent god level. Only in this way could he truly gain the approval of the world's will, allowing himself to become the master of the world. There were less than 4 years left until the next demon invasion. He wanted to break through to the transcendent god level within 4 years as much as possible, become the master of the world, devour the fragment world, enhance the origin of the world, and truly eliminate future troubles forever. A senior, let us go take a look at the entrance. A. Lin Moyu waved his hand and threw out a large amount of flames. Stellar spell, undead rebirth. The bloodthirsty bees were reborn in the flames, and the buzzing sound rang out again in the world that had just been quiet for a while. Not only were 100,000 bloodthirsty bees killed by Lin Moyu, becoming the power for Lin Moyu to level up. They could not rest in peace even after death, and were still being manipulated by Lin Moyu as slaves, and would eventually be reduced to ashes. Thinking about it, Di Huang felt sorry for the bloodthirsty bees. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers AAAAAAAA. At the same time, he also realized how terrifying Lin Moyu was. This kind of spell, this kind of combat power, could completely sustain war with war, becoming stronger and stronger with each battle. Pushing through the deep space was effortless. With the bloodthirsty bees clearing the way, the two passed through the swamp and headed to the entrance of the passage. On the space barrier, there was a ball of 5-colored mist slowly rolling. The mist was not dense, and the space barrier reflected the starlight of the great world, so it was not obvious. Lin Moyu had not noticed its existence when he was previously separated by the swamp. As the bloodthirsty bees approached, the mist suddenly became intense. A pair of eyes appeared in the mist. The eyes were deep and without light, like a bottomless black hole, capable of devouring all light. After the mist, a nose and mouth appeared, and finally a whole human face emerged. It was indeed a human face, with no difference from the appearance of the human race. Get back. A majestic voice rushed out of the mist, the sound shaking the space, causing space to distort. The bloodthirsty bees were shaken back, and many weak bloodthirsty bees were directly shaken to death, instantly turning into ashes. Di Huang groaned, the voice carried a soul attack, and his soul was shaken. Lin Moyu did not feel anything, his soul was strong enough. This voice from the mist revealed its combat power. The sound alone was enough to cause sufficient damage to a half-step transcendent god. Even those at level 96 would be instantly killed. In his perception, the other party seemed to have no life, no vitality. Now that he could drive the undying law, Lin Moyu was extremely sensitive to vitality. The other party was not a living being. A puppet. Guessing the other party's identity, without life, it could only be a puppet. Can you speak? Lin Moyu asked tentatively. The human face in the mist looked at Lin Moyu, the black eyes without eyeballs staring at Lin Moyu, making people feel frightened. Gradually, it frowned. It found that it could not see through Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked again, are you the gatekeeper? It did not answer Lin Moyu's question, but said, you are not qualified to enter yet. Then what kind of qualification is needed? At least transcendent god level. Hearing this answer, Lin Moyu confirmed a few things. The other party was indeed the gatekeeper, the other party had wisdom, but it should not be much. A puppet with wisdom that could speak was rare. At least the human race in this small world could not do it. IDAS estimated that people from the last era couldn't do it either. This gatekeeper puppet is most likely from a great world. Does one definitely need to be transcendent grade to leave? From what I know, there have been people who weren't transcendent grade who have left before. Lin Moyu asked again to the little one. Chapter 848 Terrifying Mountains, one thing subdues another. As Lin Moyu inquired, the fog churned even more violently. The fog was like a monster, bearing its fangs and claws, darting around. The face also revealed an angry expression, those were a bunch of bastards. Lin Moyu chuckled, already guessing what was going on. When he said, before, he was referring to people from the last era. Antares had said that people from the last era were unscrupulous. Many of the tragedies of this era were caused by those guys from the last era. The gatekeeper puppet was also saying the same thing, clearly filled with hatred for the people of the last era. Lin Moyu still didn't know what those guys from the last era had done to cause this era to become so tragic. If he encountered them in the future, he would have to ask them properly. Although they were his predecessors, although everyone came from the same world, some debts should still be collected. Lin Moyu sometimes held grudges. Lin Moyu said, Is it that once one reaches transcendent grade, 480 feet, one can enter, A. The fog puppet quickly calmed down after being angry for a while, returning to its original appearance. A1, be a native creature, and 2, reach the transcendent grade, A. As long as these two conditions are met, one can enter the Starlight Ancient Road, A. However, the Starlight Ancient Road is full of dangers, and you are responsible for your own life and death. I advise you not to enter until you reach the third level of the transcendent grade, A. The puppet said more this time. Its creator must have set many rules, and some things it had to answer. It possessed intelligence, but it could not violate the rules set by the creator. Lin Moyu got the answer, what if I want to go in now? A. The puppet sneered, you can try, A. A huge axe suddenly appeared in the fog, surrounded by laws, obviously not easy to provoke. The puppet's strength was very strong, but how strong it was exactly was unclear. Although Lin Moyu wasn't afraid of it, there was no need to confront it now. Lin Moyu smiled, then I'll come back after I reach the transcendent grade, A. Saying that, Lin Moyu took a step back, and the giant axe in the fog disappeared as well. It was a puppet, and as long as no one forced their way in, it didn't need to fight with anyone. As Lin Moyu left, the fog puppet also disappeared. Its duty was to guard here and act according to the rules. As long as no one broke the rules, it could remain motionless for thousands of years. Lin Moyu said softly, Senior, if you want to enter the Starlight Ancient Road in the future, you should come back after reaching the third level of the Transcendent Grade, A. Di Huang shook his head, Transcendent Grade 3, this old man has never thought about it, A. Being able to become a Transcendent and step into Transcendent Grade 1 was already Di Huang's wishful thinking. As for Transcendent Grade 3, he really hadn't thought about it. How many years had it been since the human race had produced a Transcendent Grade? Since the Great Battle in ancient times, there hadn't been one since. Lin Moyu's eyes showed certainty, you can think about it, there is hope for everything, A. Di Huang only thought that Lin Moyu was comforting himself, I appreciate your kind words, A. Having obtained 2 Dragon Balls, and also found the Starlight Ancient Road, and learned the way to leave the deep space. This trip had been completed, but Lin Moyu didn't return immediately. He planned to give out the remaining 2 Dragon Balls from Antares as well. 100,000 bloodthirsty bees turned into black clouds, clearing the way in front. Lin Moyu planned to take a good turnaround in the deep space. Looking for Dragon Balls was not like looking for dungeon entrances in Meteorite Continent. Meteorite Continent was only so big, and it could be found with a little time. The deep space was very large, and finding Dragon Balls was like looking for a needle in a haystack, not easy. But now that Di Huang was here, he could borrow the Bagua compass in his hand. Through the Dragon Ball in Lin Moyu's hand, the Bagua compass could calculate the approximate location of the remaining Dragon Balls. Before, it was because Di Huang's strength was insufficient, and he could not move freely in the deep space. Now that Lin Moyu was here, the deep space was no longer dangerous. Di Huang kept fiddling with the Bagua compass, calculating the location of the remaining 2 Dragon Balls. There was a certain connection between the Dragon Balls, and the Bagua compass calculated their respective positions through this kind of ethereal connection. Di Huang could not directly calculate the precise position, but could only calculate the approximate direction. Wherever he pointed, Lin Moyu would go. This time, there was no need to dodge dangers along the way. With the bloodthirsty bees clearing the way, the 2 charged straight ahead. The Bagua compass never indicated danger again, indicating that the road was safe all the way. In fact, they encountered many monsters along the way, several of which were Transcendent Grade, but they were quickly cleaned up by Lin Moyu. After the bloodthirsty bees became reborns, they still retained their previous laws, and were extremely sharp. Even with the blessing of spells, their attack power was even higher than before. Except for not being able to make the soul materialize, they were only stronger than before. The transcendent grade monsters on the road were either killed by the bloodthirsty bees or fled in panic. Lin Moyu did not pursue the fleeing monsters. His purpose was to find the Dragon Balls, not to hunt down these monsters. After advancing tens of thousands of kilometers and turning directions more than 10 times, Di Huang finally calculated the final location of the Dragon Balls. It was a huge forest, filled with giant trees over 100 meters tall. Moreover, the deeper into the forest, the more amazing the scale of the giant trees. Lin Moyu saw from afar that in the deepest part of the forest, it seemed that some trees had grown into the sky, at least 500 or 600 meters high. Looking at these tall trees, Lin Moyu did not act directly. The Bagua compass in Di Huang's hand began to turn again, indicating that the forest was very dangerous. The location of the Dragon Balls should be in the deepest part of the forest. I have never been here, it is very dangerous here, Di Huang's voice was a little low, and his expression was very solemn. The entire forest exuded an extremely depressing atmosphere. Just standing here, without the Bagua compass warning, he could feel a strong sense of danger. Without Lin Moyu, he wouldn't dare to stand here, let alone approach. Lin Moyu also felt this aura, it's very dangerous here, Di Huang gave a heavy, what do we do? Lin Moyu said in a deep voice, Antaresa's Dragon Balls must be brought back, The meaning in his words was very clear, no matter how dangerous, he had to try. The bloodthirsty bees did not give way, and rushed into the forest first. The moment the bloodthirsty bees entered, the entire forest seemed to come alive. The branches swayed, making rustling sounds. Countless black shadows suddenly appeared from the forest. These black shadows were very fast, constantly jumping and moving in the forest. Lin Moyu saw very clearly that these black shadows were actually spider-shaped monsters, and the number was very alarming. They sprayed liquid towards the bloodthirsty bees, and the liquid instantly spread out in the air, turning into giant nets. The overwhelming giant nets enveloped the bloodthirsty bees. 4.5 The giant nets had amazing toughness, and even the bloodthirsty bees' thorns could hardly pierce them. After being covered by the giant web, the spider-shaped monster rushed over and directly devoured the bloodthirsty bees. In the blink of an eye, all 100,000 bloodthirsty bees were covered by the giant web. In just 5 minutes, the 100,000 bloodthirsty bees were completely annihilated. The forest returned to silence once again, and all the spider monsters disappeared without a trace. Occasionally, a little sound could be heard, like the sound of animals chewing. Di Huang felt chills all over his body. He had previously said that bloodthirsty bees were the most dangerous creatures in the deep space. But now it seems that this is not the case. It really is a case of one thing subduing another. Bloodthirsty bees are majestic and invincible outside. But when they encounter these spiders, they are vulnerable. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and he once again resorted to his old tricks. The sky turned dark, the undead world descended, and the 100,000-meter eye of the undead appeared in the sky. Chapter 849, Sustaining War Through War, Getting Stronger Through Battle. The eye of the undead gazed over, and Lin Moyu also connected to the perspective of the eye of the undead. Looking down from the sky, he saw many monsters living in the forest. The spider-shaped monsters were just a part of them. These monsters seemed to be symbiotic with the forest, usually lurking under the branches and leaves, motionless. If relying solely on the naked eye, it would be almost impossible to see them. In addition, Lin Moyu also saw many poisonous snakes, lying in ambush in the grass. Spiders, poisonous snakes, and some other monsters, they all had one thing in common: they were not large in size. The largest poisonous snake was no more than 10 meters long. For monsters of this level, they were considered miniature. This forest was very strange, there wasn't a single beast, only small monsters. The stranger it was, the more cautious Lin Moyu became. The forest did not react to the eye of the undead above, allowing it to exist. Lin Moyu pondered for a moment and tried to attack. The eye of the undead swept over with a bang. As if a hornet's nest had been poked, the entire forest rioted again, even more intensely than when the bloodthirsty bees invaded. Sharp cries came from within the forest, echoing through the sky. Under the gaze of the undead, the creatures in the forest died in patches. The giant trees in the forest moved, their branches suddenly growing and forming a screen. From the perspective of the eye of the undead, Lin Moyu saw an enormous, towering tree. The souls of these giant trees were connected together, forming a huge soul body. This soul body blocked the attack of the eye of the undead. The whole process was exactly the same as with the bloodthirsty bees. Moreover, the soul of the giant tree was even stronger than that of the bloodthirsty bees, making it difficult for the eye of the undead to break through. Then, countless water arrows flew out of the forest, carrying powerful water element laws, and shot into the eye of the undead. Countless frog-like monsters appeared in the forest, squatting on the ground and shooting water arrows at the eye of the undead in the sky. These monsters were at least half-step transcendent gods, and the water arrows were full of water element laws, with great power. The eye of the undead shattered under the dense attack of water arrows. After using the eye of the undead to test the waters, Lin Moyu did not take further action. During the forest's riot just now, he felt a deep sense of danger. This sense of danger had not appeared for a long time. Each time it appeared, it told Lin Moyu that there might really be danger here. It might not kill him, but it would definitely be very troublesome. To retreat or not to retreat, this became the question facing Lin Moyu. Di Huang swallowed. What to do? Lin Moyu thought for a while. Returning empty-handed is not my style. Lin Moyu planned to push through this mountain range. He wasn't in a hurry, he would take it step by step, just treating it as leveling up. Lin Moyu looked at the forest and said in a low voice, "There's not much time left for leveling up, cherish it." Di Huang said solemnly, "Killing monsters to level up is certainly fast, but it's not the best way." Lin Moyu smiled slightly, "I know, but it doesn't matter. Human race professionals can level up by killing monsters, as long as the monsters are suitable, the leveling speed is very fast. But this method also has its limits. Once reaching level 99, killing monsters will no longer grant any experience. The essence of experience is soul power. To break through level 99 and step into Transcendent God, one must rely on oneself to comprehend. Comprehend the laws, comprehend the principles of heaven and earth, comprehend one's own spells. Continuously strengthen the soul, enhance attributes, and do everything possible to the limit. But having relied on killing monsters to level up, although the leveling speed is fast, the foundation is extremely unstable. It is very difficult to make up for it later. Therefore, most God-level powerhouses, after realizing this, will no longer kill monsters to level up. Even earlier, after level 86, they will no longer kill monsters. This is also one of the reasons why top professionals don't take action often. Lin Moyu was the same. He stopped relying on killing monsters to level up from level 86. But the current situation is different again. His foundation has been completely solidified, and it can even be said that he will not have any major bottlenecks before advancing to God King. So killing monsters to level up will not have any impact on him. Lin Moyu had no scruples about killing bloodthirsty bees before, and it is the same now. The undead army appeared overwhelmingly, killing into the forest. The forest, which had just quieted down, rioted again. The undead army adopted a slow advancing strategy, with skeleton god warriors wielding axes to chop at the giant trees. The bone dragons spewed dragon breath, as if to ignite the entire forest. Lin Moyu also took the opportunity to cast detection. The result was that he didn't receive any feedback. Detection actually failed. Although it wasn't the first time, it still made him feel surprised. The situation where detection fails is not common. Di Huang also cast detection, and the result he got was the same as Lin Moyu's, but he was not surprised. In the deep space, detection failing is very common. Lin Moyu felt that this might not be the case, and vaguely felt that something was wrong. The battle had already begun, and there was no turning back. Lin Moyu put the matter of detection aside for now. This battle covered a vast area, and Di Huang truly saw the face of the undead army. Millions of undead army, with magnificent momentum, attacked the forest. The giant trees began to counterattack frantically, fighting with the undead army. The giant trees fell in swaths under the axes of the skeleton god warriors. The monsters in the forest also pounced, attacking the undead army. Spiders spat out giant webs, spitting them on the skeleton god warriors. The spider webs were extremely tough, making it difficult for the skeleton god warriors to break free. But then, a ball of flame burned fiercely on the spider web. Spider webs can restrain bloodthirsty bees, but they themselves are afraid of fire. The flame lich appeared, imbuing the undead army with a fire element aura. The fire element aura carried the breath of law, incinerating the forest. Coordinating with the dragon's breath, it transformed the forest into a purgatory. The undead army marched out from the flames of the dragon's breath, like an army from purgatory, invincible. Giant trees over 200 meters tall collapsed continuously, creating deafening sounds. The forest vibrated violently. More monsters rushed from the depths of the forest, engaging in fierce battles with the undead army. Lin Mo watched for a while, gradually feeling relieved. The situation was excellent. The giant trees on the outskirts of the forest couldn't stop the undead army at all. The undead army advanced straight in, clearing a gap over 100 kilometers wide on the periphery. Lin Mo explained, "The deeper we go, the more dangerous it becomes. We should clear the periphery first to avoid being attacked from both sides." Di Huang nodded, agreeing with Lin Mo's approach. Lin Mo's consideration was very thorough. Although this would waste some time, for the sake of stability, it was still the best solution at present. The undead army advanced all the way, and no matter how many monsters appeared in the forest, they would eventually be annihilated by the undead army. Lin Mo had firmly grasped the rhythm. From the air, the forest was about 500 kilometers deep. Lin Mo advanced about 10 kilometers in just 1 hour. The undead army was even more like locusts than the bloodthirsty bees, leaving nothing untouched wherever they went. Now, the whole world was filled with the remains of killed giant trees and a large number of monster corpses. Lin Mo released flames and activated Undead Rebirth. A large number of giant trees were resurrected again, becoming Lin Mo's reborn. They also joined the great battle, and their original companions instantly became enemies. Sustaining war with war, growing stronger with each battle, Di Huang muttered, what he had imagined before was now becoming a reality before his eyes. Lin Mo constantly summoned reborn along the way, the number of reborn increased, and the speed of advancement also increased. Chapter 850, Lin Mo personally enters the battlefield. The giant trees in the forest lashed out with their branches, striking the undead army. But it was useless, they simply couldn't kill the undead army. The levels of the giant trees also ranged from level 97 to Transcendent grade. This level of attack could not pose a threat to the undead army. Lin Mo pushed forward all the way, and the size of the team grew larger and larger. Suddenly, Lin Mo discovered that his number of reborn was full. When a new reborn appeared, an old reborn would truly die. 500,000. Lin Mo silently calculated in his mind that the limit of reborn he could currently possess was 500,000. 1 day later, Lin Mo had advanced 300 kilometers. Only the last 200 kilometers remained. At this time, Lin Mo and Di Huang saw that at the deepest part of the forest, there was actually a spatial barrier. They saw the spatial barrier again, and outside the spatial barrier was the brilliant starlight of the great world. Di Huang quickly calculated and soon came to a conclusion. The Dragon Ball is on the edge of the spatial barrier. The edge. Lin Mo felt like something was wrong. How could the Dragon Ball be so coincidental as to go to the edge of the deep space? The deep space is so big, why would it come to the edge? Is it really just a coincidence? Lin Mo became suspicious. This possibility was unlikely, and something abnormal must be a demon. Coupled with the previous example of the swamp basilisk and the failure of the detection spell, Lin Mo felt even more that something was wrong. The undead army continued to advance, and the giant trees in the depths of the forest became stronger and stronger, surpassing the combat power of the undead army. Although the giant trees still couldn't hurt the undead army's advancement speed also slowed down. Lin Mo used spells and began a new summoning. Fusion spell, Death Dragon Knight. Fusion spell, Skeleton God General. The Death Knight and the Skeletal Dragon merged together to become the Death Dragon Knight. 3 types of skeletons merged together to form the Skeleton God General. The original million-strong army transformed into more than 300,000 Skeleton God Generals and 50,000 Death Dragon Knights. Whether it was the Skeleton God General or the Death Dragon Knight, they all possessed transcendent-grade combat power. They were also Lin Mo's strongest undead. Trading quantity for quality, this deal was not a loss. The battle situation was changed again. The giant trees in the forest had originally reached a tie with the undead army, but now they were at a disadvantage again. Di Huang stared wide-eyed. How many cards does this kid still have? Why is he so strong? The realm I dream of is just a summoned creature in his hands. And there are more than 400,000 of these summoned creatures. Di Huang once again felt that he had seen a myth. Located in the deepest part of the forest, towering trees with a height of at least over 1,000 meters finally realized the danger. They began to revive, and Lin Mo could feel that powerful consciousnesses were awakening. No matter what kind of monster, after becoming strong to a certain extent, it would give birth to self-awareness. Perhaps this consciousness was very weak, and the intelligence was not strong, but at least it would possess instinct. And this instinct was often survival. Faced with the crisis of survival, the most powerful beings in this terrifying forest finally woke up. The towering trees suddenly opened, and huge branches rose into the sky, covering the sky and the earth. Like a huge palm, it heavily slammed countless death dragon knights to the ground. The attack power was extremely powerful, reaching the limit of the transcendent grade. The death dragon knights collapsed in their attacks, exploding with a bang, but quickly resurrected in the next moment. Lin Mo frowned slightly. He could feel that those 1,000-meter giant trees in the deepest part were connecting the power of all the giant trees in the forest together. They were plant-type bosses, were of the same race, and their power was connected. All the root systems were being connected. A powerful wood element law permeated the forest. The wounds on these giant trees were rapidly recovering. Those giant trees that were killed by Lin Mo before were now transformed into wood element laws. These wood element laws carried boundless vitality and quickly regrew into new giant trees. In just the blink of an eye, from nothing, 100-meter-high giant trees rose from the ground. Those giant trees that had been transformed into reborn collectively stopped in place at this moment. Then they exploded with a bang, their bodies turned to ashes, but they left behind the purest wood element. All of this was done by those 1,000-meter giant trees in the deepest part. The entire forest was being reborn, was being revived. Huge branches turned into vines, the vines were filled with wood elements, and wherever they went, giant trees were born out of thin air. In just a few seconds, the revived giant tree forest completely surrounded the undead army. How could this be? Di Huang didn't expect the situation to suddenly change. All this happened too fast. Lin Mo's gaze was fixed on the deepest part of the forest, 100 kilometers away, where there were at least 100 giant trees, each 1,000 meters tall. Everything happened after they awakened. The giant trees in the forest should all be their descendants, and can also be regarded as part of them. As long as these guys don't die, this forest will not be destroyed. This is also why the detection spell didn't return any information. What I did just now only hurt their skin, not a real injury. Lin Mo spoke to himself, as if he was telling himself, but his words pointed directly to the core of the problem. He could understand these problems. In addition to the analysis of what he saw, there was also a very important reason. He had killed so many giant trees this day, nearly 1 million. But he didn't get any experience at all. No experience meant no soul power gained. But having killed so many, why was there no soul power? Lin Mo had been very confused, until those 1,000-meter giant trees revived, and the situation changed drastically. Lin Mo understood. The giant trees and monsters he killed were not independent individuals at all. They were all derivatives of those 1,000-meter giant trees in the deepest part. Those 1,000-meter giant trees were the mother trees, and what he killed before was just a part of the mother trees. How could he gain experience? Di Huang understood, but how to deal with those guys? Lin Mo smiled slightly. Easy. Lin Mo locked onto a giant tree of Transcendent God rank 1, and all the undead instantly focused their attacks. The eye of the undead began to gaze. Lin Mo pointed his finger, and the curse of time came out in response. This was just one of countless Transcendent God-level giant trees, inconspicuous. But for Lin Mo, it was very important. It would become a seed to destroy the entire forest. From the beginning of the battle until now, Lin Mo had not taken any action, it was all the Undead Legion fighting. But now, Lin Mo decided to personally enter the arena. That giant tree, which was only a Transcendent God rank 1, was instantly killed under Lin Mo's focused attack. Before it fell, the undead cut off the giant tree's body and brought it back whole. Nuo de Jiao. Lin Mo also gave a soft shout. Planetary level spell. Strengthen troops. All attributes instantly increased to the extreme, and the Undead Legion's combat power further improved. But the Undead Legion was already very powerful, the biggest limitation was Lin Mo's own level of soul power. The improvement of the Strengthen Troops spell could only be regarded as icing on the cake. What Lin Mo wanted was not the power of the Undead Legion, but the 500% extra damage brought by the spell. With his current soul power, he could support the Strengthen Troops skill for a full 2 minutes. 2 minutes was completely enough. Taking the newly acquired giant tree, corpse, as the target, Lin Mo fully opened his soul, locking onto a large number of giant trees. Planetary level spell, corpse explosion. With a soft sound, countless giant trees instantly collapsed. No giant tree could resist the terrifying explosive power. The earth trembled, and mud rose into the sky. Giant pits dozens of meters deep appeared on the earth, and countless roots were exposed underground. The effect is good, let's continue. Lin Mo smiled, descending like a god of death. Chapter 851 Corpse Explosion shows power, La Domain. Huge roots were buried underground, intertwined, covering the entire forest. These roots all came from the mother trees in the deepest part of the forest, and the countless giant trees in the entire forest were actually just some branches of the mother trees. Lin Mo personally participated in the battle, and corpse explosion exerted amazing destructive power. Wherever he went, giant trees fell in pieces. Every time a spell was released, thousands of giant trees were destroyed. The 1,000-meter mother trees in the deepest part were enraged, regenerating frantically, and the wood element law was extremely rich. The regeneration speed was very fast, but it couldn't keep up with Lin Mo's bombardment. The power of corpse explosion was too great, and giant trees of the same level couldn't stop it at all, and were instantly killed. Lin Mo had long expected this. Corpse explosion was used to bombard and kill existences of the same level, and it was always effective. If there was a god lord's corpse or wreckage in Lin Mo's hands now. Lin Mo even had the confidence to kill a god lord of the same level. Lin Mo was as if he was in no man's land, and within 10,000 meters around him, it was like a death zone. The damage he caused alone was more terrifying than the entire undead legion. Di Huang was once shocked by Lin Mo's power, but now, he could accept it calmly. Once accepted, everything seemed to become normal. Lin Mo seemed to be so powerful, and should be so. But amazement was still inevitable. Di Huang even had an idea to record everything Lin Mo did, write it into a book, and tell the world. Hundreds of years later, people would also know that such a genius had appeared in the human race. At a level of less than half a step transcendent God, he easily abused transcendent God. It could also inspire others. Lin Mo didn't know that Di Huang had such complex thoughts in his heart, he was just doing his own thing. The mother trees in the depths were completely enraged, and countless branches lashed over like whips. Before the whips hit Lin Mo, they were already blown to pieces. The earth cracked, and more roots twitched, attacking from all directions. Useless. Lin Mo instantly locked onto these roots, and then the spell was activated, and the roots exploded one after another. Lin Mo was as if he was in no man's land, and led the undead army straight to the mother trees. Boom. Fusion spell. Curse of time. Red light descended, the mother trees were attacked by the curse, and trembled violently. They couldn't speak, they were silent, but countless fallen leaves and broken branches represented their current state. The soul attack made them very uncomfortable, and at the same time, the soul curse further deepened the damage they were about to receive. After the curse, 10 consecutive intense explosions followed, and the forest shook violently. Dozens of mother trees collapsed, with huge tree bodies over 50 meters in diameter and over 1,000 meters in height, falling down like the sky was falling. The undead legion greeted them, intercepting the falling mother trees halfway, and dismembering them in midair. The destroyed mother trees seemed to have also lost their due toughness, and were easily dismembered by the undead legion. Using your own body to blow yourself up, it's a bit interesting. Lin Mo found it very interesting. The source of his corpse explosion was the giant trees derived from these mother trees. Although these giant trees belonged to the mother trees, they did not have independent souls and were completely controlled by the mother trees. But strangely, they possessed independent lives. This model was a bit similar to the Zerg, but not completely similar. Whether they had souls or not was not important, what was important was that they possessed solid vitality. It can be regarded as a special life form, and it can indeed be killed. This way it can be used to use corpse explosion. Another violent explosion, this time dozens of mother trees were killed. Lin Mo used the mother trees that had just been blown up as explosive materials, and the mother trees of the same level could not withstand a single blow. Then explosions occurred one after another, and a large number of mother trees fell each time. There are a total of 1,000 mother trees, occupying a large area of land. Although the number is not small, they cannot last long under Lin Mo's continuous bombardment. These mother trees realized the danger, the earth shook, and they all cracked. The roots that had been entrenched underground all year round were now intertwined. The power of the mother trees also gathered at this moment. The wood element law exploded, and the entire forest was rumbling. Lin Moyu suddenly felt danger and a warning arose in his heart. The Bagua compass in Di Huang's hand began to vibrate violently again. Retreat. Lin Moyu reacted extremely quickly, turned around, grabbed Di Huang, and quickly retreated. Just as he retreated, a cyan light rushed out from the mother tree. All the mother trees were shrouded in cyan light. In Lin Moyu's sight, a cyan tree much taller than the mother tree appeared. The branches and leaves of the cyan tree covered the sky, almost covering most of the forest. Lin Moyu could tell at a glance that this cyan tree was not a physical entity, but a law body composed of wood element laws. On the cyan tree, the aura of law was extremely strong. The warning sign in Lin Moyu's heart rose to the limit, telling Lin Moyu that this cyan tree was extremely dangerous. Di Huang's face was full of surprise. This is the law domain. Law domain. Lin Moyu suddenly understood. He had heard Antares mention the law domain before. Control a certain law power to the extreme, integrate it into one's own will, and form a law domain. In this domain, the power of law will be multiplied. It can be said to be the strongest power performance among the super god level. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the threat of the law domain was even greater than the soul manifestation of the bloodthirsty bee. At this time, the cyan tree's law exploded, and the range instantly expanded to the entire forest, enveloping Lin Moyu and Di Huang in it. The branches and leaves transformed by the law fell one after another, flying towards the undead army. For a time, a rain of law fell in the forest. The undead army was hit by the rain of law, and a cyan light flashed across their bodies, and branches grew out. Branches growing on the skeletons, the picture was very strange. The branches quickly surrounded the skeletons, and during their growth, they extracted the skeletons' life force. But unfortunately, skeletons are undead creatures, and their life force is very peculiar and cannot be extracted. The cyan tree also noticed this and trembled again. The branches on the skeletons immediately turned into vines and wrapped the skeletons, and then tightened. The sound of explosions resounded. The skeletons exploded one after another, and white bones filled the sky, falling to the ground. The power of the branches exceeded Lin Moyu's imagination. Unexpectedly, it could exceed the skeletons' tolerance limit, directly skip the talent, and kill the skeletons. Being able to kill skeletons instantly shows that the attack power of the branches is at least super god tier 9, or even true god. If he were entangled, if he could not escape, he would probably not last too long. His talent is strong, but there are still limits. The rain of law became denser and denser, and the skeletons blocking Lin Moyu were constantly killed. After the skeletons were shattered, they fell on the ground, quickly reorganized and resurrected, and came back to guard Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu locked onto the cyan tree, and found that he could not lock onto it. The cyan tree is not a life form, it is a phantom formed by law. Immediately change the target and lock the mother tree. Lin Moyu found that his soul lock had failed. The law domain protected those mother trees, preventing Lin Moyu from locking onto them. The law domain is very magical. Lin Moyu encountered it for the first time, and could not think of a good way to deal with them for a while. Lin Moyu separated a large number of undead army and rushed over, trying to impact the cyan tree. The cyan tree swayed in the wind, stirring up a cyan wind. All the undead army was blown back by the wind, and the wind carried a huge force, which was difficult to resist. The rain of law fell, and the undead army at the forefront grew cyan branches and were then crushed. Lin Moyu grabbed Di Huang, and the wings of the undead shook violently, and the two disappeared without a trace. Chapter 852, Dragon Ball's Domain, Fatal Attack. Lin Moyu left, and the undead army disappeared with it. The cyan tree suddenly lost its target, it kept shaking, making a rustling sound. After a long while, the cyan tree also exploded with a bang, and the law domain disappeared. Then the earth shook, countless roots broke out of the ground, and saplings grew on them, and then quickly grew taller. Wood elements rolled in from all directions, and in just a few minutes, the forest was full of trees again. Then these trees quickly grew, becoming taller and taller, covering the forest. On the trees, monsters appeared. These monsters include spiders, poisonous snakes, and frogs. The born monsters lurked motionless, hiding in the darkness, without any movement. The forest was still terrifyingly silent. In a few days, the forest will be completely restored. What Lin Moyu did before was in vain. The previous slaughter was useless. Lin Moyu flew out thousands of kilometers with Di Huang in an instant before stopping. Di Huang felt such speed for the first time, which was faster than the teleportation array. After Lin Moyu stopped, Di Huang took a long time to recover. Looking at the Bagua compass was no longer rotating, indicating that there was no danger here. Then he breathed a long sigh of relief. Just now in the La domain, the Bagua compass was spinning so fast that it was about to smoke, and it was shaking non-stop. He almost thought he was going to die there. Lin Moyu's eyes were solemn, as if he was thinking about something. When he was silent, he exuded a faint pressure, which even frightened Di Huang, who had been in a high position for many years. He did not have any frustration after the failure, but his eyes were full of fighting spirit. It's interesting to have challenges. Now he is not even a demigod, wait until he reaches the demigod, or even the super god level. There is no problem in pushing that forest horizontally. Di Huang asked in a low voice, what should we do now? Lin Moyu already had an idea in his mind, and would not go to the forest for the time being. Before thinking of a solution to the La domain, there is no way to get back the Dragon Ball. Senior, please calculate again, the whereabouts of the other Dragon Ball, let's go and see. Di Huang quickly agreed, and began to calculate with the Bagua compass. The compass quickly came to a result, pointing out the approximate direction. As before, Di Huang led the way, and Lin Moyu paved the way. The absence of bloodthirsty bees had no impact, as the undead army continued to clear the path. Lin Moyu summoned 10,000 skeleton god generals, each possessing transcendent grade combat power. Such a force was enough to roam freely in the deeper layers of space. With Di Huang's constant calculations and numerous changes in direction, the accurate location of the Dragon Ball was finally determined. Lin Moyu compared this with the map in his mind and discovered that the last Dragon Ball was actually located in the center of the deep space. Either on the edge or in the center, it was quite a coincidence. The more coincidences, the more Lin Moyu felt something was amiss. A day later, the two were less than 100 kilometers away from the last Dragon Ball. Here, Lin Moyu stopped. At this moment, the Dragon Ball in his hand had already begun to sense it, confirming that the last Dragon Ball was indeed ahead. But at the same time, Lin Moyu felt a trace of danger. There were no monsters or creatures here, not even the weakest ones. The place was devoid of life, appearing eerie and silent. The Bagua compass in Di Huang's hand began to spin again, very fast, and accompanied by vibrations. It was very dangerous here, and lethally so. The sense of crisis in Lin Moyu's heart grew even stronger, and he felt that this place seemed even more dangerous than the previous forest. Senior, please retreat first. After much deliberation, Lin Moyu decided to let Di Huang leave first. He feared that if there was any danger, he might not be able to take care of Di Huang. Di Huang also knew that with his strength, he would only be a burden here. When he retreated 100 kilometers, the Bagua compass suddenly stopped spinning. But as soon as he stepped within 100 kilometers, the compass would spin non-stop. Di Huang tried several times, and it was always the same. A single step forward or backward made all the difference between danger and safety. He told Lin Moyu about this situation, and Lin Moyu became even more vigilant. He approached the location of the Dragon Ball, and the unease in his heart grew stronger. When he was still 50 kilometers away from the Dragon Ball, the unease in his heart reached its peak. Lin Moyu stopped again, letting a skeleton god general continue to advance. He also connected to the skeleton god general's vision. The front looked like a flat plain, devoid of any living beings. After the skeleton god general advanced 20 kilometers, a point of light appeared in its vision. Lin Moyu saw the Dragon Ball, shining brightly in midair. Then, a massive force carrying inexplicable laws, centered on the Dragon Ball, spread in all directions. Ripples appeared in space, and countless cracks emerged, tearing the space apart. The skeleton god general shattered in response, and the next second, the skeleton god general automatically revived, but then shattered again. Lin Moyu had no time to dodge, and this force had already passed through his body. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers. AAAAA. The undead army collapsed suddenly, and even collapsed several times. Purple light flickered on Lin Moyu's body, and the talent of complete rebirth was activated. The wings of the undead vibrated rapidly, and Lin Moyu disappeared from the spot with a whoosh. 0.1 seconds later, Lin Moyu appeared beside Di Huang, with a hint of horror in his eyes. Di Huang was very surprised how Lin Moyu would suddenly appear, and before he could ask why, Lin Moyu had already grabbed him and retreated another 1,000 meters. Lin Moyu stared intently at the front, and Di Huang followed Lin Moyu's gaze. A large number of cracks suddenly appeared in the space ahead, and Di Huang sensed an extremely terrifying force. He felt that if he touched even a little bit, he would be torn to pieces. But this seemingly terrifying force, which was just at the position where he had stood before, disappeared abruptly. It came suddenly and disappeared abruptly, which seemed very strange and contrary to common sense. Di Huang swallowed and asked with difficulty, "What's going on?" Lin Moyu recalled what had just happened. If he hadn't left quickly, if another wave came, he would have really been done for. It was the Dragon Ball that launched the attack, forming a law domain within 100 kilometers. As long as you get within 30 kilometers of the Dragon Ball, it will trigger the Dragon Ball's counterattack. The attack power has reached the True God level, and at least the 4th level of True God, with soul tracking. Di Huang didn't quite understand what Lin Moyu meant by soul tracking. Lin Moyu didn't explain, "This Dragon Ball can't be obtained for the time being, I want to go back and ask Antares." "Senior, what are your plans?" Di Huang said, "I also plan to go back. I have gained a lot during this time, and perhaps I will have a chance to break through to the transcendent grade." Di Huang had indeed gained a lot, and several experiences of life and death had given him some enlightenment. Especially following Lin Moyu, which greatly broadened his horizons. This time back, with concentrated seclusion, there might really be a chance to break through to the transcendent grade. Then congratulations to Senior in advance. Lin Moyu sincerely congratulated Di Huang. Di Huang smiled slightly, "I had too many distractions in my heart before, but now that the human race has you, I can rest assured to seclude myself." Lin Moyu shook his head, "I will leave this world soon. If Senior doesn't leave, you will still have to become the stabilizing force of this world." Di Huang didn't understand what the stabilizing force meant, but that didn't matter. He heard sincerity in Lin Moyu's tone, and that was enough. Lin Moyu took out the Dragon Ball, "Then I'll send Senior back." Okay, Chapter 853, Rules of the Deep Space, Starry Sky Giant Tree. Lin Moyu used the Dragon Ball to return to Antares with Di Huang. Antares opened a slit in his eyes and glanced at Di Huang, "The old boy is still alive." This was a rhetorical question, and there was a hint of disdain in his tone. Di Huang was not unhappy at all, "Thanks to your excellency, I am still alive." Di Huang's attitude was extremely respectful towards Antares. There was no way, he was not Lin Moyu and dared not speak casually to Antares. Antares casually said, "Looking at you, you have gained a lot this time and have hope of breaking through to the transcendent grade. Go back and work hard." Saying that, Antares snorted lightly, and Di Huang was immediately sent back to the human world. Lin Moyu took out the Dragon Ball, "2 Dragon Balls have been obtained, and I also know where the other 2 Dragon Balls are." Antares opened his mouth and sucked the 3 Dragon Balls into his stomach, while asking, "Encountered trouble?" Lin Moyu was not surprised that Antares could guess. If he hadn't encountered trouble, he would have definitely brought the Dragon Ball back. How could he have returned empty-handed after knowing the location? Lin Moyu nodded and recounted what he had encountered. The 2 Dragon Balls in his hand were easily obtained, with almost no resistance. The Blood Clan and the Swamp Behemoth were nothing, and the Bloodthirsty Bees were only a minor nuisance. But the law domain that appeared in the forest at the end gave Lin Moyu a headache. The soul could not be locked, and the corpse explosion lost its effect. The undead army was also blocked by the law and could not exert its power. If Di Huang had not been present at the time, Lin Moyu would have tried again to see if he could find another breakthrough. But considering Di Huang's safety, Lin Moyu chose to retreat first. As for the last Dragon Ball that formed its own domain, Lin Moyu was truly helpless. After listening, Antares didn't immediately answer Lin Moyu, but fell into deep thought. Afterward, Lin Moyu felt an invisible force rising from Antares, then disappearing into a mysterious void. The dense fog surrounding Antares also churned violently at this moment. After a moment, Antares slowly opened his mouth and said, "This is troublesome." The word, troublesome, made Lin Moyu's heart sink. Even Antares said it was troublesome, so it seemed this matter would indeed be troublesome. "Tell me about it." Lin Moyu sat down on the spot, wanting to hear where the trouble lay, according to Antares. Antares said in a deep voice, that Dragon Ball that forms its own domain is easier to deal with. As long as you take my Dragon Ball close to it, not too close, but within a 10-kilometer range, you can retrieve it. Dragon Balls have a connection, without anyone controlling it, that Dragon Ball can sense other Dragon Balls of the same type within a 10-kilometer radius. As long as Lin Moyu got within 10 kilometers of it, he wouldn't be attacked. According to Antares, someone probably tried to obtain the energy within the Dragon Ball by force. As a result, they triggered the Dragon Ball's self-defense, forming this law domain. With Antares' power, even without Antares' control, the Dragon Ball could still unleash power exceeding a fifth-order true god. The creatures in the deep space couldn't withstand the Dragon Ball's attack at all. That 100-kilometer radius had already become a forbidden zone for life. The problem that Lin Moyu found himself at a loss with, on the contrary, wasn't so troublesome. Antares' voice became even lower. The other Dragon Ball is the real trouble. That Dragon Ball was obtained by the Star Giant Tree. They are trying to find a way to take the Dragon Ball out of the deep space. If they succeed, it will be difficult to retrieve it. Lin Moyu could hear some anxiety and a hint of helplessness in Antares' tone. Lin Moyu asked, can't you take action? With Antares' ability, as long as it acted, those giant tree mother trees wouldn't be anything. Even the law domain would collapse in an instant. Antares shook his head, if I take action, I will pay a great price. Lin Moyu frowned, is this price greater than losing your Dragon Ball? The Dragon Ball was very important to Antares. Lin Moyu really didn't know what kind of price it would be that would make Antares choose to lose the Dragon Ball rather than take action. Antares lowered his head, if I lose the Dragon Ball, I can still cultivate it back, it would just be very troublesome. But if I take action, that would be breaking the rules. He didn't say more, but Lin Moyu understood the meaning of his words. Breaking the rules, breaking what rules, and who set the rules? It involved the secret of Antares being trapped here for countless years. Lin Moyu delved into this question. The secret was not something he could get involved in. Lin Moyu thought for a moment, what's going on with the Star Giant Tree? Antares said in a low voice, the Star Giant Tree is a type of plant-based creature that lives in the Great World. Is it strong? Very strong. Stronger than you? About the same. Lin Moyu found it strange. If he had encountered the Star Giant Tree, it wasn't that powerful. If it was truly as powerful as Antares, how could he have returned? He would have been instantly killed. Antares explained, what you encountered was not the main body of the Star Giant Tree, but only an insignificant branch of it. Lin Moyu was suddenly shocked, are you saying that what I encountered was just a branch of the Star Giant Tree? Antares denied Lin Moyu's words, it might not even be considered a branch, it might just be a twig that came out after many bifurcations. Lin Moyu was shocked and instinctively asked, how big is the Star Giant Tree? How big? It depends on how high its realm is and how strong its strength is. If it's a true god-level Star Giant Tree, it should be tens of thousands of kilometers. If it's a God-King level, then multiply that by 10. Lin Moyu clicked his tongue, it was actually so big. What he encountered was indeed nothing. Antares saw Lin Moyu's shocked appearance, are you surprised? There's no need. In the great world, there are many, many creatures that are bigger than it. The strength of power cannot be simply distinguished by size. The Star Giant Tree is born with two laws, one is the law of wood element, and the other is the law of space. Using space, it broke through the space barrier, allowing its branches to penetrate in. However, because of the rules of the deep space, the branches that come in can only exert the power of a super god level at most, the law domain is its limit of power. While penetrating, it used its space law to obtain my Dragon Ball and wants to take the Dragon Ball out. It seems that it is not far from success. Antares analyzed the matter as if telling a story. Lin Moyu said, is there no way to deal with it? Antares said, of course there is, that is, you also master the domain, and use the domain to fight against the domain. This was indeed a solution, but the problem was that Lin Moyu hadn't mastered the domain. Is there no other way? Antares thought for a moment, when you reach the true god level, you can use a stronger law to crush its law domain. You are a native creature of this world and can exert the power of a true god level in the deep space without any restrictions. Saying it was the same as not saying it, Lin Moyu couldn't help but say, don't joke, can't you say a more realistic way? Chapter 854, Truly an excellent experimental product. Antares chuckled, but no matter how Lin Moyu looked at it, it had a bitter smile. His most important Dragon Ball was about to be snatched, yet he could still be happy. Antares said, "It's not that there's no way, but it's too dangerous, the law domain is not so easy to break through." Lin Moyu said coldly, "Stop talking nonsense, just say it." Antares shook his head, "Forget it, it's just a Dragon Ball, I can spend tens of thousands of years to cultivate it back." Lin Moyu rolled his eyes at him, "Are you immortal?" Although Antares' realm level was extremely high, it hadn't reached the point of immortality. Even for the dragon race, its lifespan was limited. Tens of thousands of years was not hundreds of years, losing tens of thousands of years would have a very big impact on the future. Antares said it lightly, but what Lin Moyu heard was helplessness. He understood that Antares didn't want him to take risks. But some risks were worth taking. "Hurry up and say it, stop talking nonsense. Tell me if you consider me a friend," Lin Moyu urged. Antares' hesitant appearance made him feel annoyed. Under Lin Moyu's repeated urging, Antares finally opened his mouth. "You have curse spells that can cause damage to the soul and disrupt time. Although the star giant tree has penetrated into the deep space, it has only brought in a very weak wisp of its soul. This wisp of soul will not exceed the 9th order super god. As long as the soul has not reached the true god level, it will be affected by your curse. You need to use curse skills to disrupt its time rhythm and cause damage to its soul at the moment it unfolds the law domain, which may destroy the domain law. But even if you destroy the domain law, the time given to you will be very short, maybe only a few seconds. You need to clear all the mother trees in a few seconds. Once the star giant tree is on guard, it will be difficult for your curse to interrupt its domain law again. If you fail, you may fall into the law domain, and it will be difficult to escape." Antares finally said the method. Lin Moyu couldn't help but say after hearing this, "Is it that simple?" Antares said, "Simple my ass, it's just a fleeting moment, do you think it's interrupting a monster's skill?" Lin Moyu scoffed, "What's the difference? Stop talking nonsense, send me over, I'll bring you back the Dragon Ball." Antares said, "What's the rush, wanting to get my Dragon Ball out, it will take at least a few more years. You can get stronger, it's not too late to go when you reach the super god level. The longer the night, the more dreams, solve it early, so I can go back to hug my wife and sleep." Lin Moyu didn't think so. In case the Dragon Ball is taken out early, there will be no place to regret it at that time. It's better to take advantage of the present and get it back quickly. Even if his strength improves, the difficulty will not be reduced much. Antares did not send Lin Moyu over, still a little hesitant. "Are you really not considering it again? You might die." Lin Moyu looked impatient, nagging, really like a weak-footed dragon. "You brat, if you want to die, then go die." Antares roared, and in one breath sprayed Lin Moyu into the deep space. In the deep space, a space-time channel suddenly appeared, Lin Moyu with a body of dragon breath, sparks and lightning rushed out. Returning to the deep space, Lin Moyu did not move. Letting the dragon breath burn on his body, his eyes with memories. Remember Antares once said, if he was in danger in the deep space, trapped, Antares would take action to rescue himself. At that time, Antares also said that if it took action against the deep space, it would pay some price. It was just that at that time, Lin Moyu didn't know that the price would be so great. Even greater than the price of losing a Dragon Ball. Destroying the rules. What exactly is the rule? Antares refused to say, remaining tight-lipped. Obviously, the person who made the rules is very powerful, at least more powerful than Antares. Then what realm is the other party, above the god Venerable? Invincible powerhouse. Lin Moyu could not speculate. But no matter what, for himself, Antares would rather break the rules, pay a huge price, and also save himself. Then for Antares, taking a risk, risking his life, what's so great about it? Repaying grudges is a must, and repaying kindness is even more so. Lin Moyu doesn't have many friends, Antares is one of the most important, can be regarded as a life and death friend. The Dragon Ball must be taken back. Lin Moyu must do what he is determined to do. But he can't do it without thinking, he needs to make some preparations. In Lin Moyu's mind, there is already a roughly complete map of the deep space. Knowing where there are super god level monsters, where the monsters are stronger. Lin Moyu led the undead army, and went straight to the nearest place, where there was a super god 5th order monster. Although super god 5th order monsters are a bit troublesome to deal with, they are not particularly troublesome. After a battle, this monster was beaten to death by the undead army. Monsters are monsters, a little wisdom, but not much. If it were replaced by super god level powerhouses in other races, it would not be so easy to kill. The bloody smell spread again, and the undead army dissected the monster, releasing all the blood. Pouring the blood into various areas within 1,000 miles. The bloody smell will not only attract bloodthirsty bees, but also attract many other monsters. Soon, a large number of monsters in the deep space were attracted. Then, the roar resounded through the deep space. This time, Lin Moyu no longer held back, and simply blasted all the monsters that came over. With the first Super God 5th Order monster as a sample, even Super God 6th Order monsters are difficult to resist. After blasting a large number of monsters to death, Lin Moyu sprinkled blood to farther places. Sprinkling blood all the way, attracting more monsters. Even a group of bloodthirsty bees were attracted. This time Lin Moyu regarded the bloodthirsty bees as experimental products. After the bloodthirsty bees are crippled, they will fuse their souls, so that the souls are materialized, and exert attacks infinitely close to the true god level. The speed of the bloodthirsty bee's soul is very fast, and it can be completed almost in an instant. Lin Moyu did experiments on it, and at the moment of soul fusion, he used the curse of time to interrupt the fusion. Lin Moyu has done similar things many times. When he was still weak, he often used soul flames to interrupt the boss's skills. Now doing it, it is still easy to do. The first time, he successfully interrupted the soul fusion of the bloodthirsty bee. After success, Lin Moyu did not continue to attack, but waited for the bloodthirsty bee to perform the second soul fusion. His guess was correct, the bloodthirsty bee was stunned, and started soul fusion again in 12 seconds. Lin Moyu always used his soul power to pay attention to every movement of the bloodthirsty bee. At the moment when its soul fusion was turned on, the curse came as promised. The soul fusion was interrupted again, and the bloodthirsty bee was completely stunned. Although the bloodthirsty bee is very strong, its wisdom is not high. Almost all of their actions are dominated by instinct. So they started the third soul fusion. Lin Moyu carefully observed and interrupted again. This time, the timing was better than the previous few times. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the soul fusion of the bloodthirsty bee and the law domain of the starry sky giant tree have the same effect. Facing the law domain of the starry sky giant tree, he only has one chance. So he used the bloodthirsty bee to practice. The bloodthirsty bee performed soul fusion again and again in a stunned state, and was interrupted again and again by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's grasp of timing became more and more precise. He can even judge by the slight fluctuations of the law. Sensitivity also unknowingly became sharp in the repeated experimental process. Until after dozens of experiments, Lin Moyu let go of the bloodthirsty bee. What an excellent experimental product. Chapter 855 I'm back again, interrupting the law domain. A branch of the starry sky giant tree penetrated the space barrier and entered the deep space. The branches multiplied, forming a huge forest in the deep space with a depth of more than 500 kilometers. The small branches on the upper part of the branches grew into 1,000-meter mother trees. Then the mother tree grew roots again, and bred more giant trees. At the same time, a large number of monsters appeared. These monsters are like bacteria on the starry sky giant tree. At that time, Antares told about the situation of the starry sky giant tree, and Lin Moyu was also a little shocked. Unexpectedly, there would be such creatures in the great world. A starry sky giant tree is comparable to a race. Even in the great world, the starry sky has destroyed entire races many times. The starry sky giant tree is definitely a powerful and terrifying existence. Fortunately, they are not many in number, otherwise it will be a nightmare for most races. Lin Moyu came to the forest again. This time, he was fully prepared. Behind him, the undead army was ready to go. After a few days, the forest seemed to have returned to its original state. However, in Lin Mo's perception, the forest had not fully recovered. It was still quite different from the last time. Obviously, the previous great battle had caused considerable damage to the forest. It also allowed Lin Mo to determine that the so-called starry sky giant tree was not as powerful as he had imagined. It was just a small branch and a wisp of its soul, it was not invulnerable. At least before it unleashed its law domain, it was no match for him at all. Lin Mo's will vibrated along with the wings of the undead. The undead legion charged into the forest with a murderous aura. The forest suddenly erupted, with countless monsters rushing out of the forest, their branches transformed into weapons, and engaged in a great battle with the undead legion. A similar scene had already played out last time. Even the forest in its perfect state could not withstand the undead legion's attack, let alone now. The bone dragons spewed out large swaths of dragon breath, burning the forest. The skeleton divine mages continuously detonated the undead laws, bombarding their targets. The newly grown giant trees on the periphery were weak in vitality, and their combat power was several levels lower than before. Lin Mo led the undead army, killing their way in at an astonishing speed. The mother tree revived again, the earth cracked, and countless roots were drawn out from the earth, attacking the undead legion. The mother tree's attack power was very strong, enough to cause damage to the undead legion. But at this moment, Lin Mo broke away from the battlefield. The wings of the undead vibrated violently, and Lin Mo instantly crossed the battlefield and rushed into the mother tree's domain. The mother tree instantly launched a fierce attack on Lin Mo, with countless branches lashing over like knives and whips. A large number of black shadows appeared in the air, and the bone dragons fell from the sky, blocking the attacks for Lin Mo. At the same time, a large number of monster corpses fell from the sky, and the area where the mother tree was located was immediately rained with corpses. The bone dragons, carrying monster corpses, had flown to the sky above the mother tree long ago, waiting for Lin Mo to make his move. These monster corpses were all existences above the third tier of the transcendent god realm, all killed by Lin Mo in the past few days. As the corpses fell, Lin Mo also locked onto a large area of the mother tree. Planetary level spell, corpse explosion. In the sound of explosions, the mother tree was instantly severely damaged, collapsing in patches. Lin Mo moved quickly, continuously using corpse explosion to detonate and kill a large number of mother trees. The earth rumbled and cracked open, and the mother tree's roots frantically intertwined together, their energy converging. Light also rose from Lin Mo's body. Planetary level spell, strong soldier. All attributes are raised to the extreme, dealing an additional 500% damage. While casting strong soldier, Lin Mo's left hand seemed to be holding a ball of light, shining brightly. At the moment when the mother tree completed the energy convergence, the power of the laws began to surge. Lin Mo also crushed the ball of light in his left hand at this moment. At the center of the law's intersection, a red light lit up. Lin Mo had been paying attention with his soul from beginning to end. With the experience he had gained from the bloodthirsty bees, Lin Mo accurately found the center of the law's energy intersection. The curse had been prepared long ago, waiting for the opportunity. At the most critical moment, at the instant of the law's intersection, the curse was activated. The curse's range of effect was very small, only acting on the center point where the laws intertwined. At that center, there was a wisp of the starry sky giant tree's soul. The starry sky giant tree needed this wisp of soul to unleash its law domain. And it could only unleash the wood element law domain. The wisp of soul was not strong enough to use the space law to form a domain. The wisp of soul suffered curse damage, screaming incessantly. Its will was disturbed, and its time suddenly accelerated many times. Its time was out of sync with the outside world. The power that converged also went awry. The law domain that was about to form shattered with a bang. The wisp of soul was screaming, transmitting bursts of killing intent. Lin Mo sneered. He had come here this time to kill it. If killing intent could scare him, he wouldn't have come. The collapse of the law domain bought Lin Mo a few seconds. For Lin Mo, a few seconds was not short, he could already do a lot of things. A large number of monster corpses were detonated, and 1,000-meter mother trees fell one after another. Then, these killed mother trees also became the fuse for Lin Mo's explosions, becoming the most powerful weapon in Lin Mo's hands. In 5 seconds, more than half of the 1,000 mother trees were killed. Lin Mo felt that the laws were gathering again. The roots underground were intertwined even more tightly than last time. This time, the law domain was gathering from 100 meters deep underground. Transferred underground, Lin Mo smiled slightly. The mother tree's roots were extremely developed. Over the years, it was unknown how many meters they had penetrated into the ground. Such a situation was already within Lin Mo's expectations. So from the beginning, his soul power had infiltrated the ground, without missing a single bit. As long as he locked onto you with his soul, No matter if you were in the sky or underground, you couldn't escape. When the laws gathered together, at the moment when the law domain was about to form, Lin Mo scored a second time, using the time curse again. Soul damage, the speed of time changed, and the newly formed law domain collapsed instantly. Lin Mo smiled coldly, his killing intent soaring to the sky. This time, he wouldn't give the mother tree another chance. Corpse explosion blasted all the way, the mother trees could not resist and were instantly killed. 4 seconds later, all 1,000 mother trees were killed. At the same time as the mother trees were killed, all the trees in the forest exploded into fragments. The originally lush forest turned into a bare earth, with nothing left. Lin Mo did not relax his vigilance. He did not gain experience, indicating that the starry sky giant tree's wisp of soul was still alive, and he had not succeeded yet. Under the soul scan, there were still a large number of roots 100 meters deep underground. Before Lin Mo could take any action, the earth suddenly exploded Qian Li Jiao. Countless mud and rocks erupted like a volcano, rushing into the sky. Countless undead legions were lifted off, unable to stop flying backwards. Finally came out, Lin Mo saw a huge branch, and felt immense vitality on the branch. This branch was buried more than 100 meters underground, was 50 meters thick, and its length was immeasurable. Thinking of Antares's words, this huge branch in front of him was just one of the starry sky giant tree's thin branches. And it was an insignificant, most terminal thin branch. You deserve to die. A wave of malice was transmitted, and Lin Mo felt that the space he was in had changed. He seemed to have entered a great world, and came before the real starry sky giant tree. The starry sky giant tree's branches and leaves were casually spread out in the starry sky, obscuring the light of the stars. Even a leaf could be comparable to a star. The entire starry sky giant tree was even larger than the sun. The starry sky giant tree was overlooking him, its killing intent shaking the starry sky, terrifying. You deserve to die. Another wave of killing intent swept over. The soul world was rumbling, and the 9-colored dragon soul crystal roared. Lin Moyu shuddered violently and woke up in shock. He had actually fallen into an illusion just now. Even a wisp of the starry sky giant tree's divided soul could create illusions. The strength of its soul power was unbelievable. However, with the protection of the 9-colored dragon soul crystal, such illusions could only affect him for a moment. Lin Moyu's consciousness returned to reality, and his thoughts vibrated. Fusion art. Death Dragon Knight. Fusion art. Skeleton God General. The undead legion fused one after another, turning into 360,000 skeleton god generals and 50,000 death dragon knights. The next second, the 400,000 undead legion with combat power reaching the transcendent god tier plunged straight down, charged into the ground, rushed onto the twigs of the starry sky giant tree, and launched the most violent attack. The twigs twitched, blasting away the undead legion, cracking the earth, and striking towards Lin Moyu. Finally, the full view of the branch was revealed. It was a huge branch with a diameter of over 50 meters and a length of over 10,000 meters. It was covered with forks, looking like the branches of a willow tree. The wood element laws roared on the branches, but no law domain was formed. The 2 interruptions just now, as well as the destruction of the mother tree, had caused it considerable damage. It was difficult to form a law domain again. After all, it was just a wisp of divided soul, with many limitations. It came here, multiplied into a mother tree, and then multiplied into a large forest through the mother tree. These forests then took root in the earth, absorbing power from the earth. The elemental density in the deep space was 293, which allowed this wisp of divided soul to have the ability to display a law domain. As long as the law domain was formed, it would be almost invincible in the deep space. But now, the forest had been destroyed, and it had been subjected to continuous curse attacks, and the divided soul was injured, making it impossible to display the law domain again. As long as there was no law domain, its strongest attack would only be at the 9th rank of the Transcendent God tier, and Lin Moyu was not afraid at all. The huge branch whipped at Lin Moyu like a whip, but Lin Moyu was unharmed, and did not even move half a step. The undead legion came over again, covering the sky and earth, firmly grasping the branches and fixing themselves on them. Axes, swords, dragon breath, spells. They desperately greeted upwards. The bark was very strong, and it took hundreds of continuous attacks from the undead legion to break it. Debris flew around, dancing in the air like smoke. But these were just superficial wounds, and it was difficult to cause real damage. The branches shook wildly, but this time the undead legion was prepared and could not be easily copyright off. Lin Moyu pointed out again, time curse. Red light descended, and the divided soul screamed, suffering damage again. The damage was not fatal, but it was painful enough. The scream of the divided soul turned into the sound of the soul, like a sharp arrow rushing into Lin Moyu's soul world. The soul world vibrated, and the glazed glass outside the world blocked the arrow. The divided soul roared frantically, constantly attacking Lin Moyu. But it could do nothing to Lin Moyu's soul world. The third-grade soul possessed absolute defense. A ball of gray and white gas flew out and landed on the branches. In an instant, the branches began to rot. The strong aura of death spread rapidly, and in a blink of an eye, it had enveloped the entire branch. Lin Moyu drove the undead law, trying his best to show the dead side of the law. All vitality was erased at this moment, and only death remained where the law passed. The bark of the branch began to rot, becoming fragile under the attack of the undead legion. Then the tree flesh also began to rot, vitality disappeared, and only death remained. What kind of law is this? Lin Moyu heard the sound of the soul, with fear in his voice. He did not know whether this voice came from the divided soul or from the body of the starry sky giant tree. But Lin Moyu knew that everything that happened here must have been transmitted back to the starry sky giant tree. The body of the starry sky giant tree must already know, and it must hate himself. According to the rules of the great world, there was a high probability that he had been branded again. This was the second time he had used the undead law. The first time, the undead law disintegrated the soul manifestation of the bloodthirsty bee. The second time, the undead law easily collapsed the defense of the starry sky giant tree branch. Without the protection of the bark, the undead legion could be said to be hitting flesh with every blow. The undead law did not stop there, continuing to exert great damage, even corroding the tree flesh. Lin Moyu could hear the soul clone screaming, but it was too late. Finally, under continuous attacks, the branch completely collapsed. The soul clone let out a final scream, dying in the embrace of the undead law. Killing the starry sky giant tree clone, level +1. At the same time as the starry sky giant tree's divided soul died, Lin Moyu's body glowed with an upgrade. Seeing the prompt message, Lin Moyu was stunned. What does level +1 mean? He had never seen it before. In the past few days, he had killed hundreds of transcendent god-level monsters, and a group of hundreds of thousands of bloodthirsty bees, which only allowed him to rise from level 96 to level 97. After level 96, the upgrade requirements were shockingly high. He did not expect that killing just one divided soul of the starry sky giant tree would directly raise his level by 1. Going straight from level 97 to level 98. Not only that, but the soul level also increased accordingly, breaking through to level 98. Lin Moyu felt that he had already touched the bottleneck of the half-step transcendent god level. As long as he could comprehend a little more and learn to control the laws in his own hands, he could break through to the half-step transcendent god level. At that time, he would be like Zhang Yi, becoming a level 98 half-step transcendent god. Whether it was level 98 or level 99, there was a chance to become a half-step transcendent god. The key was whether he could control the laws. The battle ended, and Lin Moyu finally saw the Dragon Ball, which was already on the space barrier, and even part of it had AE into the space barrier. Perhaps if he had not come, after some time, the starry sky giant tree would have successfully obtained Antares' Dragon Ball. Antares might also have lost his Dragon Ball forever. But now, everything was over. Lin Moyu went over to take back the Dragon Ball. Suddenly, a huge force flashed across the Dragon Ball, shaking Lin Moyu's palm away. A wood element law. Lin Moyu was slightly stunned, knowing that it should be the starry sky giant tree playing tricks. The undead law emerged from his hand, and he grabbed towards the Dragon Ball again. The Dragon Ball glowed again, and the wood element law collided with the undead law. Invisible power spread in the air, and Lin Moyu controlled the undead law, urging the power of death inside, finally overwhelming the wood element law. It could be seen that the starry sky giant tree had lost most of its power when passing through the space barrier, and was also suppressed by the deep space. Otherwise, how could Lin Moyu's mere power compete with the starry sky giant tree? Finally, Lin Mo seized the Dragon Ball, and then with a burst of strength, he removed it from the spatial barrier. As he took the Dragon Ball, Lin Mo clearly heard an angry roar. The roar came from the starry sky giant tree, from an unknown space-time. Its years of effort were ruined by Lin Mo in a single day. How could it not be furious? Lin Mo saw a small, concave hole in the spatial barrier, with a black spot at the center. The black spot seemed to lead to an unknown void. Lin Mo understood that this black spot was the passage opened by the starry sky giant tree using its own spatial laws. Human bastard, Thissa degree remembers your aura. When you come to the great world, Thissa degree will surely slay you. The deafening sound violently rushed into Lin Mo's soul world. Lin Mo's soul raised its head and saw a projection of a giant tree appear outside the glazed barrier. The giant tree was infinitely large, terrifyingly boundless. It was outside the soul world, staring at him with fierce eyes. Lin Mo looked at the starry sky giant tree, his expression solemn. Starry sky giant tree. Chapter 857. Leaving another mark, what a fool. The indentation on the spatial barrier was quickly repaired, disappearing in an instant. Lin Mo knew that was because the starry sky giant tree had left. It was no longer wasting power. After all, the Dragon Ball was gone, and wasting power would be useless. Years of effort ruined in a single moment, the starry sky giant tree had already come to hate him. The starry sky giant tree's phantom, which never disappeared outside the glazed barrier of the soul world, explained everything. This was a mark left by the starry sky giant tree on him. As long as he arrived in the great world, it would use this mark to find him and kill him. But so what? Lin Mo just wanted to call it a fool. Does it really think Antares is a vegetarian? You can leave a mark, but wouldn't Antares clear it away? It wasn't the first time a strong person had left a mark on him. He was already used to it. He just needed to go back and have Antares clear it away. With the Dragon Ball in hand, Lin Mo didn't stay, but flew towards the location of the last Dragon Ball. The wings of the undead trembled non-stop. Lin Mo traveled 1,000 miles in an instant, faster than a teleportation array. In just a few seconds, he had flown over tens of thousands of kilometers, arriving at the location of the last Dragon Ball. This was the central area of the deep space, where the elements were extremely rich. The laws were revealed, and cultivating here could greatly accelerate the speed of comprehending the laws. There were no overly profound laws, but various elemental laws were very complete. One could imagine that there must have been a large number of monsters here before. But now, there wasn't a single monster. It was eerily silent. The last Dragon Ball didn't know what had happened, but it had activated its self-defense. Its attack had reached the 5th level of True God, and it could also track souls. In the deep space, no one could withstand this level of attack. With the Dragon Ball as the center, the attack radiated out to a range of 100 kilometers. This area had completely become a dead zone. An attack of the 5th level of True God, also with soul tracking, even Lin Mo could only withstand it once. If he took a second hit, he might die on the spot. Lin Mo took out the Dragon Ball given by Antares. The Dragon Balls would sense each other, and as long as he got within 10 kilometers, it wouldn't attack him. Lin Mo was quite confident about this. The power of the soul flowed slowly, and finally exploded suddenly, pouring into the wings of the undead in an instant. The wings of the undead beat fiercely, and Lin Mo disappeared suddenly, leaving only a space full of cracks. If Antares saw this scene, he would know that the wings of the undead had touched an extremely powerful law. The law of space, which is ranked as the first law alongside the law of time. Lin Mo himself didn't feel anything about this. He tried his best to control the wings of the undead, approaching the Dragon Ball as quickly as possible. Lin Mo's speed was too fast, like teleportation, but the Dragon Ball's reaction was even faster. Just as he rushed to 40 kilometers, the Dragon Ball suddenly shone brightly, and a huge force rushed out like a wave. Lin Mo didn't dodge, gritted his teeth, and accelerated again, rushing in with all his might. This force rushed through Lin Mo's body, and the undead legion in the spell constellation collapsed completely in an instant, then collapsed 5 times in a row. Immediately afterwards, purple light flashed on Lin Mo's body, and his talent was activated. All skills were reset. From this second on, the talent needed 55 seconds before it could function again. If Lin Mo suffered the same degree of attack again within these 55 seconds, he would truly die. The world in Lin Mo's eyes slowed down. He stared firmly at the Dragon Ball, calculating the distance. His speed was too fast. It would only take 0.01 seconds to complete this distance. But the Dragon Ball's attack frequency seemed to be even faster. The first wave of attacks was sent out, and the second wave of attacks had already begun. It began to flash, and once the second wave of attacks was sent out, even if Lin Mo rushed within 10 kilometers, it would be useless. The whole process took less than 0.01 seconds, and Lin Mo only had this moment of time. He could retreat, or try again. But Lin Mo knew very well that once he chose to retreat, he might not have this sharpness next time. In the choice between life and death, Lin Mo chose to risk his life. The soul suddenly opened its eyes, and all the soul power rushed into the spell constellation belonging to the wings of the undead without leaving a drop. The soul world was rumbling. The spell constellation of the wings of the undead bloomed with unprecedented light. A trace of a peculiar law aura was born at this moment. Then Lin Mo disappeared, this time not because of the illusion caused by the speed being too fast. This time Lin Mo was really teleporting. It instantly skipped tens of kilometers, appeared beside the Lin Dragon Ball, and then grabbed the Dragon Ball. The left hand held the Dragon Ball given by Antares, and the right hand held the last Dragon Ball. The Dragon Ball, which was just flashing, suddenly became quiet and no longer aggressive. Lin Mo breathed a long sigh of relief, sweat had already unconsciously flowed down his forehead. Zero seeking flowers A. Just now it was really tense, just a little bit, really just a little bit. He felt that his life was in danger for the first time. If he had been 0.01 seconds slower, perhaps he would have really died. What he originally thought was a relatively simple matter turned out to be more difficult than dealing with the starry sky giant tree's clone. This is so damn exciting. Lin Mo thought about his experience just now, which was only a few 0.0 seconds, it was really an unprecedented excitement. Even someone as calm as himself had been forced to sweat. The soul power was completely exhausted, and the body became extremely weak, with a feeling of emptiness filling the whole body. When the soul power had recovered a little, Lin Mo activated Antares' Dragon Ball. Antares wasn't sleeping, his dragon eyes were filled with worry. 0. It was very dangerous to deal with the starry sky giant tree, even if it was just a clone. I don't know if that brat has settled it or not. With that brat's ability, even if he can't win, he shouldn't be in any danger. It's been several days, it should be decided soon. That brat never fights a battle he's not sure of, either he doesn't act, or he has absolute certainty of winning when he acts. Antares muttered to himself, his pupils suddenly constricting as he looked ahead. Accompanied by a spatial distortion, Lin Mo Yu appeared before Antares. At this moment, Lin Mo Yu's face wasn't pleasant, his expression listless. Fortunately, the power of divinity existed, the power of level 98 divinity brought nearly 100 times the recovery of an ordinary person, his soul was recovering at a speed 100 times faster than a similarly ranked professional. In a normal great battle, unless it was a battle between souls, soul power would not be exhausted. Soul power was the foundation of everything, exhausting soul power was not a good thing, it could damage the foundation of the soul. Of course, Lin Mo Yu didn't need to worry about these, at worst he would die a few times, and let his talent repair his soul. Antares said in a muffled voice, "Brat, what are you doing?" "Of course, I'm stirring things up." Lin Mo Yu grinned, taking out the Dragon Balls. Antares' eyes shone with unprecedented brightness, "You got them all." Lin Mo Yu said unhappily, "Are you blind? Isn't it right in front of you, can't you see for yourself?" Antares didn't care about Lin Mo Yu's words, he opened his mouth and inhaled, sucking all 3 Dragon Balls into his body. Immediately afterward, he raised his head and let out an earth-shattering dragon roar. Big. Chapter 858, How much hatred, how much grievance. The dragon's roar resounded through the heavens and the earth. The entire immemorial battlefield was shaking. Lin Mo Yu saw the surrounding space collapsing, revealing the dark, endless void. Within the void, there were turbulent energy currents shooting out, breaking through the spatial restrictions, entering the immemorial battlefield from the void. Every energy turbulence carried terrifying power, they charged head-on, scaring all the monsters in the immemorial battlefield into scurrying away with their heads in their hands. A terrifying aura rose from Antares' body, a thick pressure spread out, suppressing Lin Mo Yu, making him unable to move. Antares' power, only now was a glimpse of the tip of the iceberg truly seen. Merely the aura, made Lin Mo Yu unable to resist. Even if the pressure increased a little, it could crush him to death. Lin Mo Yu had no doubt that Antares could crush all true god-level existences with just his aura. Antares' voice carried excitement and exhilaration, Lin Mo Yu didn't stop him, he was willing to let him roar to his heart's content. To vent as much as he wanted. For a time, countless monsters in the immemorial battlefield died and were injured. Fortunately, all the humans had gone to the abyss world to fight, there were only some monsters in the immemorial battlefield. Several minutes later, Antares quieted down. Space began to self-complex, forming barriers, blocking the turbulent energy, protecting the weaker creatures in the space. Antares said happily, "I'm sorry, I was too excited just now, I couldn't help but shout." It's understandable, if it were me, I might be even more excited. Lin Moyu could probably understand what it felt like to regain something precious that had been lost. The aura on Antares' body was still rising, becoming more and more intense. It had long surpassed the limit that the immemorial battlefield could withstand, and even surpassed the limit that this world could withstand. But now Antares had control, so it didn't cause too much impact. Lin Moyu asked, "Dragon balls, what do they mean to you dragons?" Antares grinned, "That's a secret of our dragon race, do you really want to know?" Lin Moyu didn't care at all, say it or not. Antares shook his head, okay, it's okay to tell you. Dragon balls have a great effect in our dragon race, one of which is to contain our dragon race's spells. Contain spells? Aren't spells spell stars or spell planets? Lin Moyu felt strange. Antares had mentioned before that the spells of the strong at all levels of the great world were composed of spell planets and spell stars. What does it have to do with dragon balls? Antares explained, our dragon race has secret techniques that can integrate spells into the dragon balls, in this way, the power of the spells can be strengthened. This involves the second function of the dragon balls. Dragon balls actually represent the strength of our dragon race. Simply put, the more dragon balls, the stronger the strength. After Antares' explanation, Lin Moyu understood. In addition to distinguishing realm strength with true gods, god kings, and god sovereigns like other races. Within the dragon race, there is also a special level classification rule. That is the dragon ball. Under the same realm, the more dragon balls a dragon race has, the stronger they are, and the higher their status. Under the same number of dragon balls in the same realm, the more spells that can be integrated into the dragon balls, the more powerful they are. Once the spell is integrated into the dragon ball, the power of the spell can be greatly increased. But it also depends on the level of the spell itself. The same dragon ball, the same spell, integrating a planetary level and integrating a stellar level, the power is also different. The most perfect method is to integrate a stellar level spell into each dragon ball. Of course, that is just a dream, impossible to achieve. This is a unique method of the dragon race, outsiders cannot learn it. This is also one of the reasons why the dragon race is powerful. In the same realm, few races are the opponents of the dragon race. In addition, dragon balls have another function, which is inheritance. The dragon balls will carry the inheritance of the dragon race's ancestors, which has extraordinary significance for the dragon race's descendants. Lin Moyu asked, in your dragon race, how many dragon balls can there be at most? Antares shook his head, I don't know, it is said that the dragon ancestor once had 36 dragon balls, but that is just a legend. Normally speaking, elemental dragons do not have dragon balls, until they cultivate to the true god realm. When they transform into holy dragons, they can refine the first dragon ball. When the 9th dragon ball is refined, they can be promoted to divine dragons, which is what I am now. Lin Moyu calculated, Antares had 16 dragon balls, which was considered a top-level powerful existence in the dragon race, probably second only to the dragon god. Moreover, the dragon god also gave his 2 dragon balls to Antares. I don't know how well Antares has digested them, and what benefits he has obtained from them. This was Antares' secret, and Lin Moyu didn't pry into it. Lin Moyu pointed to his head, the starry sky giant tree seems to have planted a mark on me, help me clear it. Okay, soul world. Antares' soul power slowly flowed in, turning into a miniature version of Antares. 0. When he saw the phantom of the starry sky giant tree outside the soul world, he let out a strange cry, you have completely angered this guy. Lin Moyu asked in confusion, is there a problem? Antares said, the marks we usually talk about are just leaving a trace of aura, which can be used for rough positioning. But this guy has planted a soul mark on you. He can use the soul mark to locate you accurately. Moreover, the starry sky giant tree is naturally familiar with some spatial laws, and can even teleport directly to your presence. But planting a soul mark comes at a price, it will forever lose a trace of its soul, and it is difficult to recover. This is different from splitting the soul, planting a soul mark on you, for it will take at least 10,000 years to return to its peak. Moreover, the soul mark has two sides. If you are strong enough, you can also find its location through the soul mark. It is equivalent to exposing itself to you. In Antares' mouth, soul marks cannot be planted casually. The price is too high. Unless there is deep hatred, it is impossible to plant a soul mark on the other party. Moreover, this is a double-edged sword, and if you are unlucky, you will be killed. Lin Mo Yu was speechless for a while. Does this guy hate himself so much? Isn't it just robbing it of the Dragon Balls it was about to get? Or is it that his soul curse made it hurt too much? Antares' gaze was solemn. Tell me, how did you get rid of it? 5.2. Lin Mo Yu explained the process at that time, and his method. Antares suddenly understood. No wonder it would not hesitate to damage itself, but also to plant a soul mark on you. It must have sensed the time laws in your spells. It is said that the Starry Sky Giant Tree also has a very terrible ability, that is, it can seize other people's laws. According to records of our dragon clan, the Starry Sky Giant Trees of countless years ago did not understand the laws of space, they only possessed wood-based laws. The Starry Sky Giant Trees were certainly powerful back then, but far less so than they are now. Later, a Starry Sky Giant Tree devoured a powerful individual who had comprehended the laws of space. And then the Starry Sky Giant Tree gained the laws of space. I suspect it wants to seize your time-based laws. Looking at the soul imprint of the Starry Sky Giant Tree, Lin Mo felt a sudden chill. It actually wanted to seize his time-based laws. Chapter 859, Throwing a Meat Bun at a Dog Gone Never to Return. Lin Mo did not doubt Antares' words. Otherwise, there would be no way to explain why the Starry Sky Giant Tree wanted to plant a soul imprint on him. After all, this would cause self-damage, and recovery would take at least 10,000 years. No normal person would do such a thing. Lin Mo asked, is there a way to get rid of the soul imprint? Antares did not answer, but instead came outside the world of souls, next to the Starry Sky Giant Tree's soul imprint. Antares seemed to be sensing something. Lin Mo saw it close its eyes. After a moment, Antares spoke, come over and take a look. Lin Mo also flew over, observing the soul imprint at close range. The soul imprint's appearance was a miniature version of the Starry Sky Giant Tree, emitting the Starry Sky Giant Tree's unique aura. Lin Mo looked carefully and discovered that the roots of the Starry Sky Giant Tree were connected to his world of souls. Antares said, the reason why the soul imprint is difficult to remove is because it is connected to your soul, very tightly. If I forcibly erase the soul imprint, it may cause damage to your world of souls. Of course, you have a talent that allows souls to be reborn, but whether the world of souls can be reborn, I am not sure. Also, the soul imprint will carry your aura. Will your talent also regenerate the soul imprint along with it? Lin Mo pondered for a moment. Try it. Are you sure? If the world of souls cannot recover, it will have a great impact on you. Lin Mo said, I will eventually have to go to the great world. I can't have a knife hanging over my neck, can I? I don't want the Starry Sky Giant Tree to appear in front of me as soon as I enter the great world and then swallow me. If he had to wait until he had grown strong enough to counter-kill the Starry Sky Giant Tree, Lin Mo didn't know how many years it would take. The only plan for now was to try it first. Lin Mo had confidence in his talent, even souls could be completely restored, so the world of souls would certainly be fine. As for the Starry Sky Giant Tree's soul imprint, it was, after all, an external object. After receiving a definite answer, Antares said, then let's try it, I'll use a little less force. Lin Mo nodded, come on. Antares' body erupted with a powerful aura. A pair of huge dragon eyes appeared in the world of souls. Lin Mo recognized that these dragon eyes were not the divine dragon eyes of wisdom. The divine dragon eyes of wisdom contained the light of wisdom, as if they could see through the essence of everything. But these dragon eyes contained death and possessed the ability to destroy everything. Dragon Clan's secret art, Eyes of World Extinction. Antares explained, don't worry, I'll be very careful. The Eyes of World Extinction gently blinked at the Starry Sky Giant Tree's soul imprint, and two beams of light shot out, hitting the soul imprint. Boom! The violent sound shook the world of souls. The Starry Sky Giant Tree's soul imprint was violently attacked, becoming dim and uncertain. On the glazed surface connected to the Starry Sky Giant Tree, a gap appeared. The originally complete world of souls was punched with a hole. Lin Mo couldn't help but let out a muffled groan, wincing in pain. Fortunately, he had once moved his talent and had been burned by the flames of talent, so his tolerance for pain was extraordinary. If it were someone else, they would probably collapse on the spot and die beyond death. Antares looked at Lin Mo worriedly. How is it? Lin Mo gritted his teeth. I'm fine, continue. The soul imprint was still there, and Antares still needed to work harder. The eyes of world extinction once again shot out two beams of light, hitting the soul imprint. The soul imprint became even more illusory, and the world of souls shook violently again, the gap growing larger. Lin Mo also let out a cry of pain. The originally complete world of souls was now no longer stable. With the world of souls injured, Lin Mo's soul body was also injured along with it. Lin Mo could feel that his soul had been severely damaged. Continue. With a bite, now that he had started, he would see it through to the end. Lin Mo's ruthlessness shocked Antares. Once Lin Mo became ruthless, even it felt a little scared. The eyes of world extinction attacked again, bombarding the soul imprint. This was a soul imprint from the starry sky giant tree, extremely powerful. It was completely and tightly attached to the world of souls, making it difficult to distinguish each from the other. Destroying it would inevitably injure the world of souls. Continue, continue, continue. In Lin Mo's repeated urging, Antares attacked again and again. Finally, the soul imprint was completely destroyed. Lin Mo's world of souls also became riddled with holes. The originally complete glazed shield was now like a leaky lantern, ready to collapse at any moment. The next step was to activate Lin Mo's talent and repair the soul. Antares was skilled at this. With the power of a transcendent god tier 5, coupled with soul tracking. With just one strike, he activated Lin Mo's talent. The giant talent tree in the world of souls bloomed with brilliant light. Purple light shone in all directions, and the world of souls was rapidly restored in the purple light, and Lin Mo's soul was also completely restored. As expected, it can. Before Lin Mo could be happy, he discovered that even the soul imprint had been restored. The mood that had just become excited suddenly sank again. Lin Mo felt a sense of crying and laughing. His talent was too strong, so strong that it was a bit perverted. But it wasn't good if it was too strong. Now even the soul imprint could be repaired. This is troublesome, Lin Mo said in a low voice. Now that he was in a small world, protected by the laws of the Great World, and there was a spatial barrier, the starry sky giant tree could not enter. As soon as he entered the Great World, the starry sky giant tree would definitely come to his door at the first opportunity. If it really wanted to seize his time-based laws, then it would definitely not let him go. The allure of the time-based laws was self-evident. 3. But he can only hide in the small world, and becoming a god is his limit. How could Lin Mo be willing to do that? Antares suddenly said, something seems wrong. Lin Mo asked strangely, what's wrong? The soul imprint seems to be weakening, but it's more closely connected to your soul world. Lin Mo also carefully sensed the soul imprint, which did seem to be a little weaker than before, about 10%. While the soul imprint was weakening, its connection with his soul world became closer. Antares then said, no, your soul world seems to be getting stronger. Lin Mo also noticed this, his soul world had indeed become stronger. Connecting the two, Lin Mo realized something. Antares shouted loudly, I understand, I finally understand. When your talent repairs your soul, it absorbs the power of the alien soul and integrates it into your soul world. Lin Mo's guess was almost the same as Antares' answer. According to this, I only need to die a few more times and activate my talent a few more times to completely absorb the power of the soul imprint, and then the soul imprint will collapse. Antares chuckled, not only will the soul imprint collapse, but it will also take your soul a step further, bringing you closer to a 4th grade soul. The starry sky giant tree would never have imagined that it would lose both its wife and its army, sending a meat bun to feed a dog with no return. Lin Mo said unhappily, can you not use metaphors randomly, stop talking nonsense, and hurry up. Antares chuckled, sharpening his sword and preparing to do what he loved most. You brat, prepare to die. In the exaggerated roar, the Eye of Destruction reappeared, bombarding Lin Mo's soul world again. Chapter 860, The Great World Rune Doesn't Want to Kill Me. Lin Mo found that his tolerance for pain was rising sharply. From initially being unable to endure the severe pain caused by the soul being injured, to gradually getting used to it, and finally even feeling a bit comfortable and stimulating. The soul world was shattered again and then restored again and again under the purple glow of talent. The soul world was becoming solid at a speed visible to the naked eye. And the starry sky giant tree's soul imprint was also weakening at the same speed. The starry sky giant tree, far away in a corner of the great world, was now dumbfounded. It had paid a huge price to plant a soul imprint on Lin Moi. But this soul imprint had just disappeared, and the starry sky giant tree was extremely angry when the soul imprint disappeared. Huge branches danced wildly in the starry sky, breaking space and destroying several stars. But in the blink of an eye, the soul imprint recovered. This made the starry sky giant tree a little confused. Then the soul imprint disappeared again, and then recovered again. In the repeated disappearance and recovery, the starry sky giant tree suddenly realized that the connection between itself and the soul imprint was becoming weaker and weaker. Until just now, the connection was completely lost. This time the soul imprint truly disappeared and never recovered. The starry sky giant tree was furious again in confusion and incomprehension. Not only was the previous effort wasted, but it was fine if it couldn't get the Dragon Ball. Now even the soul imprint is gone. Where could it find Lin Moi in the vast great world? Bastard, human brat, this a degree remembers your aura, you can't escape. I must kill you and devour your laws. The starry sky giant tree was furious, and its terrifying branches danced and lashed out in the starry sky, shattering the nearby stars into dust. Finally, after completely absorbing the soul imprint, Lin Moi breathed a long sigh of relief. The knife on his neck was removed. He once again deeply felt the danger of the great world. The soul world absorbed the starry sky giant tree's soul imprint, making the soul world more solid. The original soul world had a layer of glazed light shield on the outside, which was a symbol of a third-grade soul. Correspondingly, the third-grade soul was covered in a layer of golden light, looking like a golden body. After absorbing the power in the soul imprint, the originally slightly turbid glaze gradually became transparent and gradually transformed into crystal. And the golden light on the soul body began to show a white-like glow. When the soul world becomes purely transparent, transforming from glaze into crystal. And the soul also transforms from a golden body into white jade. A jade-like soul, a crystal world, is a fourth-grade soul. Lin Moi took a big step towards a fourth-grade soul with this opportunity. Antares marveled, amazing I 1/2. Lin Moi knew that it was referring to his talent. His talent can not only be reborn, but also devour the soul power of different species in the rebirth and transform it into his own power. This kind of talent is too heaven-defying. Lin Moi smiled slightly, come and help me look at something. What do you want to see again? Antares followed Lin Moi to the magical star of the wings of the undead. It looks like an ordinary magical star. It has neither formed a multi-star nor has it given birth to laws. Antares didn't understand what he wanted to see. Lin Moi said, this is the magical star of the wings of the undead. You know the function of the wings of the undead very well, but before I was trying to get the last Dragon Ball, it seemed to have changed a bit. As he said that, Lin Moi began to inject his soul power into the magical star. The light of the magical star became brighter. Then Lin Moi gave a soft shout, and all his soul power was injected in an instant. The magical star became incomparably bright, and the huge light illuminated the entire soul world. At this moment, its brightness surpassed all the magical stars. A peculiar aura was born on it. Antares screamed strangely and exclaimed, spatial law. So this is the spatial law. Lin Moi said softly, while withdrawing his soul power. A large amount of soul power was consumed in an instant, and Lin Moi felt a trace of weakness. Before, in order to get the last Dragon Ball, I fully activated the wings of the undead and then a phenomenon similar to teleportation appeared. At the same time, I felt a trace of law aura on the magical star, but I wasn't sure what law it was. Lin Moi's knowledge of laws was not enough, and he couldn't fully judge the newly born laws. He still needs to accumulate. Antares looked at Lin Moi like he was looking at a monster, chaos law, time law, spatial law, undead law. You are really a freak, I think the Great World Rune cursing you is light. The Great World Rune should have killed you, and shouldn't have let you live. Lin Moi smiled, unfortunately, I survived, are you very disappointed? As he spoke, Lin Moi thought of the Great World Rune, which was full of cracks. He thought to himself, maybe it's not that it doesn't want to kill me, but that it can't take care of itself. Antares snorted, extremely disappointed. Lin Moyu knew what this guy was thinking, just being contrary. Olden, I want to ask you something. Why did I level up directly after killing the starry sky giant tree's split soul, instead of gaining experience? Antares wasn't surprised at all and casually replied, that's because the level difference between you and it was too great. Although you only killed a split soul, which is like an avatar, its main body is too strong. In the eyes of the world's rules, your behavior is like a newbie who just changed jobs killing a level 90 god-level professional. Experience can't be calculated, so you leveled up directly. From its words, Lin Moyu captured some unusual information. You mean, the rules of this world? What rules? It's the rules for you human professionals. You'll know the specifics when you get to the great world. Antares didn't elaborate. Lin Moyu knew there must be some reason why it couldn't be said in detail. Anyway, there's no rush. Everything will be clear when he gets to the great world. Antares was greatly restricted in this world. Lin Moyu sighed. Alright, then I'll go back first. I've been out for a while this time. Antares nodded. I also have something to tell you. You'd better find Lillian and put on a show with her. Huh, put on a show again? What show? Lin Moyu was puzzled. Now that the humans have advanced into the abyss and the situation is great, Lillian hasn't even made a move. What show is there to put on? Antares explained, have you noticed that the power of faith has weakened? Lin Moyu nodded. He had noticed it long ago. The power of faith he had obtained had been continuously weakening in the past 6 months. Compared to when the power of faith was at its strongest, it had weakened by more than half. But Lin Moyu had never taken the power of faith to heart, so he didn't care. He didn't know why Antares suddenly mentioned the power of faith. Antares said, the power of faith is still somewhat useful, otherwise it wouldn't have become one of the fundamental powers of you humans. Lin Moyu believed Antares' words. Okay, I know what to do. Knowing is good. Now you can scram and go home to hug your wife. As he said that, Antares spewed out a large mouthful of dragon breath, directly blasting Lin Moyu back to the human world.